starters for North Texas. But listen, they've had some success here before, and they're going to get a chance to put up points first here early. DT Sheffield back deep. And this ball will be a touchback as we get our first look at this Texas Tech offense. They've had some problems along the offensive line, some injuries, but they got a couple of former Tech players on the offensive line, does North Texas. And keep your eye on this talented young running back, Demaje Harris. Zach Evans back as well. And then, of course, the wide receiving core led by Damon Ward and DT Sheffield.
Yeah, Damon Ward went off in week 1, and DT Sheffield went off in week 2, and that's kind of the nature of this attack.
Both of these offenses from the air raid system like to sling it over the yard. That is Blair Conright. His first catch of the game doesn't go for much. And Chandler Morris, we looked at the numbers earlier. He has been excellent in terms of attacking downfield. 737 passing yards, second in the country. 7 touchdown passes, third in the country. They would like a little more consistency, and he's a guy who can run the ball when needed as well. Rolling out to his right, dumping it off to Harris. Harris going to be just short of the sticks as he's wrapped up by Ben Roberts, the middle linebacker for Tech.
He had Harris early there, and then he had him late. Finally just dumped it off to him, and Roberts was sort of slow to get there and make the tackle. Makes it a very manageable third down for the Mean Green.
3rd and 2, and defense has certainly been a focus for head coach Joey McGuire. Unlike some of the previous coaches, he's a defensive-minded head coach, and they've had a lot to fix on the defensive side of the ball. Lost 7 starters from last year. A direct snap and then wrapped up in the backfield, but there is a flag on the play. That was to Braylon Carroll on the tackle.
Transfer from Rice.
To the ball being snapped. False start. Number 74. Offense. 5-yard penalty. 3rd down.
And both these teams have been struggling with procedural problems offensively. Some of that is to do with modern football and the transfer portal. These teams do a lot offensively. There's a lot of communication out there. This is the loudest stadium North Texas has been in and the most adverse environment they've been in. So that's something they got to clean up early now. A much more difficult 3rd down for Chandler Morris.
A slightly different environment than South Alabama where they opened the season. 3rd and 7 here. Morris flushed out of the pocket to his left. And that one intended for Damon Ward, bringing up 4th down.
Morris on the move there, squaring his shoulders. Looked like a beautifully thrown ball and very catchable. Should have been a 1st down for North Texas right there.
So Sawyer Evans in to punt for North Texas. The dangerous Josh Kelly is deep for the Red Raiders. Kelly calling for the fair catch at the 29, but contact was made on the catch. That was Colin Lewis that kind of rolled into Kelly's legs there just a bit.
Tried to stop Lewis, did, but legs slipped out from under him.
Kicking team. 15-yard penalty. 1st down, Texas Tech.
Taking a look at this Red Raider offense on the offensive line. Dalton Merriman getting the start at left tackle. Vinny Scurry out for the year with a knee injury. Sterling Porsche hurt last week as well. The skill position players so good. Taj Brooks back after that 153-yard effort in the first game, and they're going to give the ball to him right up, and he gets back to the line of scrimmage. Nice job by the North Texas defense.
North Texas runs that 3 high safeties. They're going to have to shoot and get after Brooks.
And Baron Morton coming in as the man for the first time in his career. Started 8 games last year, but was anointed the starter in preseason practice and said it's been the best camp of his career. Just a lot different feeling, kind of being the guy at quarterback. Head down and first down for Taj Brooks. You mentioned it in the open. He is one of the very best running backs in college football.
Great block pulling around here from Mason Tharp. Look at him there, the big tight end. Gets away with a bit of a hold and a grab, but nice lead block for the 6'9" tight end, and here he goes again.
Another big hole, bounces it to the outside, and another first down as Taj Brooks down to the 20-yard line. Feed the man.
Well, they're happy to have that running back back. He's the only guy who's touched the ball so far, and you see his patience and then the explosion and then the strength at the end of the play. He's got everything. He is a one-stop shop in the backfield. Pass protection, catching the ball out of the backfield, a guy that's going to play for a long time on Sundays.
Last run goes for 20, 36 yards on the ground for Brooks so far. He takes a break. Cameron Dickey, the true freshman, checking in for the Red Raiders. Keeping on the ground once again. Here's Dickey picking up 4, maybe 5. Jalen Smith on the tackle for North Texas.
They ran the same play and ran Tharp through again, and Dickey did a good job getting behind him, but Smith also good pursuit getting on his back there. Play selection very different to start this game.
Just a wee bit. When you have Taj Brooks back, you can do that. They are without Cameron Valdez this game, so Dickey will be the primary backup to Brooks. Keeping on the ground again. Patient running for the true freshman from Austin, Texas, a former high school quarterback and defensive back. A bit under-recruited coming in, but they have high hopes for this young man.
Nice job, Ty Buchanan, pulling around, everybody walling off defenders.
Running tempo and then met in the backfield right away. Jalen Smith coming in with 12 tackles, playing at a very high level from his linebacker spot for the Mean Green.
Yeah, probably playing best at linebacker for them as Dickey comes back out. Not a big freshman, but a physical guy. And there's Smith, who's made a couple big tackles on this drive. 2nd and goal, but they got a long way to go here.
They are at the 10-yard line, 2nd and goal. Baron Morton has yet to throw a pass. Taj Brooks checks back into the ball game at running back. Morton back to throw for the first time this game to the back of the end zone, looking for Caleb Douglas. And broken up, bringing up 3rd and goal.
Well, there's only one football, and they want to get a lot of these guys involved. Taylor Starling with a good job there, not really getting his head around, but able to break that ball up, reading the eyes of Douglas. They want to get the ball to him, Josh Kelly, and Coy Aiken.
4 receivers for Tech on 3rd and goal. Quick pass over the middle, and it is a strike to Josh Kelly. Ten-yard touchdown pass, Morton to Kelly, his 2nd touchdown catch of the year.
People in Lubbock, Joey McGuire, everybody's got to be feeling great about this. Just a beautiful break. Late to react is Evan Jackson. A strike, like you said, a lot of zip on that ball. Baron Morton throws it in there, and they get a stop. They're disciplined, and they drive down and score. That's exactly what you wanted to see if you're a fan in Lubbock.
Gino Garcia on for the extra point, a 7-0 lead, and Red Raiders fans got to be pleased with this. They couldn't have drawn it up any better. 7-0, Texas Tech on top.
Ordinary pretzel just isn't enough, so they add savory seasoning and tempting buttery flavor into every delicious twist. Now that's enough to make you build an all-pretzel pantry with a biometric security system. Dots, sensationally seasoned pretzels.
This Skinny Pop is so delicious.
And only 3 simple ingredients.
I never have to stop. Thomas, hold my calls and my texts.
Got it.
And my emails. Don't leave.
Skinny Pop, endlessly delicious.
What causes a curve down there? Is it Peyronie's disease?
Will it get worse? How common is it? Who can I talk to? Can this be treated?
Stop typing, start talking to a specialized urologist because it could be Peyronie's disease, or PD. It's a medical condition where there is a curve in the erection caused by a formation of scar tissue, and an estimated 1 in 10 men may have it. But PD can be treated even without surgery. Say goodbye to searching online. Find a specialized urologist who can diagnose PD and build a treatment plan with you. Visit makeapdplan.com today.
These are the luckiest ice cubes in the world. They could have been a thankless bed for an all-you-can-eat salad bar. But instead, they've been called upon to cradle and cool a crisp, refreshing Dos Equis. Looks like the lucky just got luckier. Dos Equis.
Wendy's has new saucy nugs. And if Wendy's found a way to make their nugs even better, anything is sauceable! For a whole new way to nug, gotta be Wendy's.
Welcome back to Lubbock. One drive, one touchdown for Texas Tech. An 8-play, 56-yard drive. 6 runs, but it was a pass that got him on the board.
This is why Taj Brooks is so important. That fake holds the safety and creates this hole in the middle of the field for Baron Morton to throw the ball to Kelly. Without Taj Brooks out there, do you hold safeties? Are the linebackers mugged up like that? No, they're not. Just his presence creates mismatches for Zach Kittley to call plays. Great execution on that drive from the Red Raiders.
They said they wanted to make Baron Morton comfortable quickly in this game. What better way to do it than have Taj Brooks right beside him? DT Sheffield back deep, takes the ball at the 2-yard line. Out past the 20, tripped up at about the 25 is where Sheffield will end up.
Well, they got some guys that can roll, don't they? Some pretty fast guys in North Texas. Let's see if they can get this offense back on track. Great tackle there to save what could be a much bigger return from Jordan Sanford.
Well, North Texas dealing with injuries as well. Jawan Price, their talented running back, out for the season with a broken leg. Akia Ragsdale also out, so it's going to be Demaje Harris and Zach Evans, the 2 primary ball carriers for Eric Morris.
Harris popped off an 80-yard run last week. Big guy, but a lot of speed and explosion in those big legs.
Yeah, career game for Harris. 10 carries, 142 yards. Morris staying in the pocket, trying to squeeze it in to Dalton Carnes, but Baskerville there to break it up.
The hound of the Baskervilles. Love this guy. Mean tackler. A transfer from San Diego State, comes from that Rocky Long scheme. And he's got a lot of length and violence on that back end for Tim DeRuyter's defense.
2nd and 10 for North Texas. Over to the right side, nothing going from Morris. It was Ward, the intended receiver.
And remember, Morris had a beautiful throw to Ward that would have extended the drive last possession, and Ward was unable to come up with it, crossing the field. This time, Morris just overthrows him.
A lot of similarities in these 2 quarterbacks, Morton and Morris, in terms of the passing yards, top 5 in the country. But there's still some things that they can work on. 3 interceptions last week in that win over Stephen F. Austin for Morris. One of the things the coaches said they loved about him is the fact that he maintained his composure, kind of stayed medium, didn't get too high, didn't get too low. Dumps it off here, and then nothing going. Big hit coming in from that Texas Tech defense. That's the linebacker, Ben Roberts.
They have Jacob Rodriguez and Ben Roberts, and those are the guys that have to step up for this defense. And look at him, just a beeline right for the hips of Harris. Breaks down and makes a sure tackle, wraps him up. Plenty of pursuit behind him. The Red Raiders look a lot more ready defensively than they did last week on that weird night in Pullman.
The defensive freshman of the year was Ben Roberts. They say he's still learning and getting better after a heck of a year. Could be a scary sight in the very near future. Here's Kelly. Ball's on the ground. Kelly trying to get a handle of it, and he does. Somehow gets it back in his hands. It looked like Lewis had a hand on it for a moment. 7-0, Texas Tech on top with a chance to put some more points on the board when we come back.
Man, I wish I was out there.
Let's unretire.
Why not?
Guess who's back? Hey, Grandpa!
Grandpa? I still got it. Let's see.
Hey, I
I need that senior discount.
I'm good right here, bro.
What? Greetings happen.
Hi, cutie.
Yeah, that's not good happens. Huge things happen.
I got him to UC Davis.
Home happens. Be there with Ring. Learn more at ring.com.
I've wanted an eternity with you from the second I met you.
Heisman hopeful Dylan Gabriel leads Oregon.
Got a man! Touchdown!
Against Oregon State. Today at 3:30 Eastern on Fox.
Time for today's progressive game flow, and the fans are ready to go here in Lubbock, Texas. Man, just good to be home after a rough start in Pullman. They're coming off that 37-16 loss, and it seemed like everything that could go wrong did go wrong. And a complete polar opposite game situation here as Taj Brooks, man, was he missed in Pullman.
Well, you see how patient he is. He just kind of bubbles out there and throttles down. Jalen Smith has got to pursue all the way from the backside and make the tackle. He sees holes, and then he's very difficult when he squares his shoulders to the line of scrimmage. And you're right. I mean, you look at the rushing yards. He's almost there, trying to get him to #1 by the end of this season.
He just moved into 6th place on the all-time Texas Tech rushing list. That's June Vilea on the stop. A loss of 1.
This couldn't have been any better of a start for Texas Tech. They've got their run game going. They've got their weapons in place. Josh Kelly, Coy Aiken, they tried to get it to Caleb Douglas, and 2 3-and-outs defensively. That's exactly what the doctor ordered for Joey McGuire.
Well, last week they thought Morton might have been pressing a little bit because Taj Brooks wasn't there. They wanted to get him comfortable early, and so far they have. That off the hands of Caleb Douglas. Drops have been an issue early in the season for Texas Tech receivers.
Plenty of protection there for Morton, and Taj Brooks didn't even have to block till 3 or 4 seconds. He's standing back there for a long time. Finally, Douglas came open, and it was a good ball.
Yeah, Morton put that one right on the money. The drop brings up 3rd and 11. 7 drops by Texas Tech pass catchers in the first 2 games. Here's Morton again going to the right side. Coming back to make the catch is Jordan Brown. Jordan Brown cutting it back inside. Has a little room. What a move by Jordan Brown as he's going to get down to the 13-yard line before he's finally knocked out of bounds by Jaden Hill.
Jordan Brown, not one of their top 3 guys, but out there doing it big, especially in this play. Runs an out route. He's a local product from Lubbock, Texas. Turns and gets up the field. That's the move. And then the second one, bang! Got the ball flying all around out there. Switches the ball to the right arm. Jordan Brown getting loose in his hometown.
43-yard gain for Brown. A little bit of a high snap. And then that mean green defense just swarming Brooks. Jake Shipley, first guy there for North Texas.
They've been running this play about the 3rd time that they've run it, where they pull Mason Tharp around and he leads through, the 6'9", 270-pound tight end. And Joey McGuire coming with a much different edge in this game. Running the ball, playing tough defense. Texas Tech threatening again after converting that 3rd and 11.
2nd and 9 from the 11. 2 receivers up top. That's Brown in motion. And here's Brooks on the ground. Met behind the line of scrimmage. Brian Nelson II. That's going to be a loss of 3.
And that's part of this 3-high Iowa State-style defense they run under Matt Capone. You have to have secondary guys shooting gaps, flying up, and making tackles, especially against a guy like Taj Brooks. And that time, Nelson does a good job. They're starting to fit better against the run, at least the last couple times Brooks has had the ball.
So 3rd and 12. Got to get inside the 2-yard line for a fresh set of downs, or you could just go ahead and try to chuck it into the end zone. Here's Brown again. That's going to be shy of the first down. Nelson on the stop. So it looks like they'll have to settle for a field goal, but all things considered, you convert here, and it's a 10-0 lead.
Small victory for North Texas, who's had a tough start in this game, but bowing their necks a little and only giving up a field goal here potentially. Something to look to, but they need to get it going on offense.
The hold is down. The kick is up and good by Gino Garcia. First quarter, 10-0 lead for the home team here in Lubbock.
Tonight, in your spacious La Quinta suite, your eyes could use a break after a long day of seeing, things. But hey, free waffles always make you forget. Because at La Quinta, we work as hard as you do, so that tonight you can be the agent of destruction.
Gotcha.
We get it. You've been building connections all day. Go ahead, demolish that personal record. Tonight, La Quinta. Tomorrow, you shine.
What if the promise of better work wasn't just something we dreamed about, but something we found?
This might be the one.
Or better yet,
No way.
something that found us.
I got the interview.
There are 100 more of you. We have some new twists.
Magician.
Kickball. Light it up!
The Floor premieres Wednesday, September 25th on Fox.
Welcome to Applebee's. What can I get you?
I have the 50-cent bone.
Cover your mouth. They could steal your order.
The 50-cent boneless wings?
I'll have the same.
Perfect. They'll never see it coming.
I got this $1,000 camera for only $41 on DealDash.
DealDash.com. Online auctions since 2009. This PlayStation 5 sold for only 50 cents. This iPad Pro sold for less than $34. And this Nintendo Switch sold for less than $20.
I got this KitchenAid stand mixer for only $56.
I got this barbecue smoker for $26.
And shipping is always free.
Go to DealDash.com right now and see how much you can save.
Whether you're looking for courtside or upper deck, comedy or concerts. With Game Time Picks, we make buying tickets easy by serving up only the best deals on sports, music, and shows. What time is it? It's game time.
Eric Morris, what a sweet homecoming this is for him. His second season as the head coach at North Texas, but he played and worked for Mike Leach at Texas Tech. He said the emotions were going to be flowing a bit when he walked in, but he had to get that focus in right away. And how about this staff? These are all coaches for North Texas who played at Texas Tech. Eric Morris at wide receiver, Jordan Davis at wide receiver, a couple of offensive linemen as well. But
I didn't know they had tight ends back then.
That's when they did have tight ends. Man, I'll tell you what, he had some great memories in this building as well. Back in 2008, number 7 Texas Tech hosting number 1 Texas. Morris had 4 catches, including this touchdown. Dude was a baller back in the game. The game remembered for Michael Crabtree's last-second touchdown catch, giving the Red Raiders the upset win over the number 1 team in the country. What a sight that was.
Oh, the game that put Leach on the map. Coach Morris was talking about it with us and the media throughout the week. He's a very measured guy, but man, what emotion.
Quick pass to the outside and finally some room. The biggest play of the game. Landon Sides breaks the tackle. Sides down the sideline for the touchdown. A 75-yard score.
That'll make it.
And it's Wyatt Young. Check that. Wyatt Young, the true freshman from Katy, Texas, for the touchdown. Just his 6th catch of the year. Little screen pass for Young. And man, did he turn on the Jets.
Bad angle from Ben Roberts there helped create that. And Young did show some speed, former quarterback and running back out of Katy, Texas. And that'll make the homecoming a lot sweeter for Eric Morris. Things were looking like they were getting away a little bit. North Texas with a huge stride.
Kylie Nguma with the extra point. Now just like that, thanks to the true freshman Wyatt Young, we have a ball game. 10-7 here in Lubbock. Mean Green making a statement here early.
Passion is like a flag. Passion unites us. Though we come from different backgrounds, together we are one. It shows us where we've been, where we are going. Passion lifts us up. When times are tough, it is a testament to our will to persevere. It is the spark to create, to innovate. It is the beginning of everything. Plant your flag. Find your passion.
Everything you thought you knew is brand new.
We on a new wave. This ain't what it was.
See, when the game changes, so do we. Every day, every play. Always been greater than 12, now standing 16 strong. In every end zone, any time zone. When everyone else keeps asking, what's next? We know we are.
At Domino's, we know some companies are guilty of shrinkflation. They're giving you less for the same price. So, we're taking our biggest deal and we're making it even bigger. We call it moreflation. For a limited time, when you mix and match any 2 or more medium 2-topping pizzas for $6.99 each online, we'll upgrade 1 medium pizza to a large for free.
You sure about that?
Yup.
You sure about that?
Positive. Get moreflation, not shrinkflation, only at Domino's. Thanks. Wait, we're giving you more.
Chase really knows how to put the heart in your local community. See what I did there? Hey, Jackie. Evan, my guy. You helping him with savings, right? I wish I had somebody like Evan when I started. Somebody just got their first debit card. Ice cream on you? Ooh, tacos. I got you. Wait, hold on. Don't you owe me money?
What?
Your money is a part of your community, so your bank should be too. Like Chase.
Derek Carr leads the Saints against Dak, CD, and the Cowboys.
Touchdown!
Or the Rams take on the Cardinals.
Wow!
Sunday on Fox. Check for the game in your area.
How about the true freshman Wyatt Young? His first career touchdown goes for 75 yards. Have a little fun on the sideline.
Getting a little loose, old Wyatt Young. Tompkins High School Falcon, first team All-State last year. Hanging out with Landon Sides on the sideline. They got a few slot guys that do that kind of work, and they saw the mismatch out on the edge, and Chandler Morris didn't have to throw that a long way to get a lot of yardage.
Sides and Young look like twins out there. Apologies to Young for the call. His first career touchdown. Well played, young man. Ball into the end zone, going to be a touchback today on Fox. A new chapter in one of the oldest rivalries in football as Dylan Gabriel leads number 9 Oregon against Oregon State. Then at 7:30, UCF takes on TCU. It all goes down today at 3:30 Eastern on Fox. Taj Brooks back in the ball game. There's a look at Baron Morton. Total yards, a lot more even after that 75-yard touchdown pass.
Just one play for North Texas. Their defense doesn't get much of a rest, but they feel a lot better about the scoreboard.
Morton dumping it off over the middle. That's Jalen Conyers. Going to be just shy of picking up the first down. The Arizona State transfer has been a welcomed addition to this offense.
Yeah, he can do a lot of different stuff. Plays tight end, kind of a new age tight end. He can play way outside like a Travis Kelce type. He can play quarterback, wildcat. He was a high school quarterback. Did a lot of that stuff at Arizona State last year as they had a bunch of injuries at the quarterback position. But a really interesting piece for Zach Kitley and Joey McGuire to play with. They have the big blocking tight end in Mason Tharp and the real game breaker in Jalen Conyers.
2nd and 1 for the Red Raiders. Brooks on the carry with the patience picking his way through the line of scrimmage, picks up the first down and then some. Defensive coordinator Matt Capone for North Texas compared his running style to Le'Veon Bell.
Yeah, look at this. Most guys' body would come alive and they would just take off for the sideline at that point because there's a bunch of random colors in your backfield. Instead, Brooks very patiently just kind of skates his way through.
Already 54 yards on the ground. Pressure coming. Morton escapes the first, but not the second. Ball on the ground. Was it a pass or a fumble?
I think it was an incomplete pass.
I believe the pressure was coming from Zaylen Scott. Here's another look.
He's just going to throw it up there. Yeah, his knee was looked down, though. Looked like his left knee was down while he was trying to do it. Taj Brooks really did bow up there.
The ruling on the field is an incomplete forward pass. There was no eligible receiver in the area of the pass, therefore, intentional grounding. Number 2, offense. The ball will be placed at the spot of the foul. Loss of down is second down.
It's the Will linebacker, Ethan Wisłowski, who Taj Brooks was blocking, and the pressure came from behind them. Morton got away at first. As you can see, that left knee is down. Is the ball out? Yeah, it looks like he's going to be sacked, I think.
All right, let's bring in our rules expert, Mike Pereira. Mike, it looked like the knee was down there.
Yeah, and so they can reverse this, and they can put him down, which then, of course, would take off the intentional grounding. So replay looking at the left knee, as you see here, and that's what we're going to focus on is the left knee, watching the ball in his hand, and it gets to the ground first. So I would assume they'll just put him down, take off the intentional grounding, and hello, Petros. It's good to see you at 9 a.m. in the morning.
You are looking good, Mike. God bless you. Great tie pin.
The best. All right, so there you have it. 2nd and 10 after the... And then a strike was thrown to Josh Kelly. Kelly, with his second catch of the game, came in as the leading receiver in the country.
Look at Taj Brooks picking up blitz. Just beautifully done. Stuff that pro scouts love to see. And that enables Baron Morton just to sit back there and step into that delivery to the excellent receiver, Josh Kelly.
Pick up a 27 yards for this Texas Tech offense. Morton 5 of 7. Almost 100 yards and a touchdown pass.
Nope tricks from Brooks. He doesn't have to cut guys or anything like that. He stands straight up and blocks.
Quick strike over the middle once again. This time it's Caleb Douglas. Brian Nelson on the stop. But it's that little run pass option. He pulls it out and then throws the dart.
And I don't think they're forcing the ball to Caleb Douglas, but obviously they're trying to get him more involved in this game plan. And finally he hauls one in. They're starting to get this offense rolling on all cylinders. We just haven't seen Coy Aiken yet.
So nearly 50 yards on the last 2 pass plays, keeping on the ground with Brooks. Has to elude 1 tackle in the backfield. Can't do it twice. Jaden Hill with another stop for this Mean Green defense, which has undergone quite a makeover, by the way. They were last in the country in rushing yards allowed last season, and this entire roster has undergone a makeover. 77 new players, including 36 transfers, and a lot of those guys on the defensive side of the ball. Morton looking to his left. Here comes the pressure once again from the Mean Green. What a pass to squeeze it in there. That's John Carlos Miller II, the big tight end. There wasn't a lot of room here. This was a small window.
No, he gets outside of the containment there and is able to just kind of slow down and survey the field, deliver a nice ball to Carlos Miller, John Carlos Miller. Chavez Brown is the guy that lost the containment on the outside, allowed it.
Brings up 3rd and 3 for the Red Raiders. Keeping it on the ground. Brooks going to be right at the line to gain. Let's see where the spot is.
Now the fourth down decisions.
This is a big one.
Yeah, they've become very controversial here in Lubbock because of last week and the success rate that they've had so far with fourth downs this year with Coach McGuire.
Now this is very different than last week in Pullman because they're on the opposing 20.5-yard line, and not only does he pick up the first down, he strolls into the end zone for the touchdown. Texas Tech rolling in Lubbock early. A 21-yard score for Taj Brooks. He has been on the field the entire drive, and why not when you have a guy this good on your team, one of the top 3-4 running backs in the country. Give him the ball.
Coach McGuire, a little bit of a statement there on fourth down. Not only going for it with your excellent All-American back, but getting a touchdown.
And the extra point is good. 17-7 here. Here's another look, P.
Well, they got a reverse bone in the backfield. Two back split backs. A nice lead block from John Carlos Miller. And that is all Taj Brooks needs. I just love how patient he is running through the hole and then the explosion. Not a lot of wasted movement with this back. And like we talked about, there's not a lot this guy can't do. You don't really ever have to take him off the football field. Look at what he's done thus far, and what a great scoring drive.
How lucky are they to have him back after a 1,500-yard season? I know we don't talk about this a lot, but in the world of NIL, where these guys can get paid in college, 10 years ago, he would have been gone.
Yeah, and at the same time, there is an attraction to what Coach McGuire has going at Texas Tech. People want to be here. People are drawn to him, and players have a tendency to want to stay. They've only had, since he's been here, 2 coaches leave the staff. It's been a very solid and stable situation.
He's such a likable guy, liked by the media, a player's coach, a coach's coach. His coaching career started not that long ago, or college coaching career started with a stop at IHOP, and he met with the Baylor staff, and they needed a little help. He was coaching in high school, a legendary high school figure, and came on to help them with some Texas recruiting, was on that staff for a little while, and then made his way over to Texas Tech, now in his 3rd season. It was Matt Rule in 2016 that brought him onto that Baylor staff initially.
Yeah, and these guys between North Texas, Texas Tech, and every high school and everywhere else, they all know each other.
Pressure coming, pass still completed from Chandler Morris. It was Damon Ward hauling it in.
Morris is a tough guy, and he'll stand in there and deliver.
Flag on the play after the 17-yard gain.
Personal foul, illegal horse collar tackle. Number 17, defense. 15-yard penalty, automatic first down.
Looked like Isaac Smith on the rush, trying to get to Morris. You'll see him there. Yeah, pulling him down by his name on the jersey. Can't do that. Still a nice play by North Texas, and they've shown some life offensively. I think they need to give their defense a little bit more of a rest. They'll have the quarter break coming up, but they need to hold the ball a little longer.
Those sacks are precious for this Texas Tech defense. That was A.J. McCarty flying in there from his star spot to make the tackle. Texas Tech yard after giving up 301 to Washington State last week. Vastly improved here on their home turf, but the 0 rush yards are no more as DeMajiere Harris picks up a first down. I just jinxed him.
The announcer's curse. Well, it was probably going to happen, but North Texas got it going a little offensively here, and they're threatening again.
Yes, they are, just outside the 30-yard line, keeping it on the ground once again. Nothing going as there are 5 red shirts there.
Both these teams want to play fast. They have the ability to play at a breakneck speed, as Coach Morris comes from the original Mike Leach offense that would play that fast. But they also have the ability to throttle it down a little bit and leave you in your stance for a while.
Morris looking up top. And it was nice defense by Marion Horn to bat that away.
Yeah, they have some youth here in the secondary, the back end of the Red Raiders, breaking in some new guys. Horn did play last year. He's a young player, very good coverage, very tight there on the edge, and a ball that was certainly in the area for the receiver to try to make a play on.
3rd and 7. Certainly they'd like the first down, but need a few more yards to make it an easier field goal attempt if they can't get there. And that's not going to do it. The short dump off pass picks up maybe a yard. That was the tight end, Oscar Hammond.
Yeah, they're glad to have him back. He took a rough hit last week.
They're going to go for it.
Yeah.
Yeah, kind of tweener land.
Prior to the ball being snapped, Texas Tech takes their first charge timeout of the half.
They tried to tempo Texas Tech.
30 seconds in late.
Tim DeRuyter, Coach McGuire, able to get a timeout called before the play was run. They were not ready. They expected a kick too, like us.
Wise decision there to gather the troops and prevent a frenetic defense there from going out there. So what do you do if you're Eric Morris? Do you still go for it, or you try to line up and kick it in? Blake Ford is the kicker who generally will attempt kicks of 45 yards or more.
That's the big leg guy.
That's the long field goal specialist. This one will be a 46-yarder, so we could still see Nguma. But it does look like they're going to send the offense.
Offense is out. Yeah, it just depends on how much you like your play call in these situations. And Coach Morris has a plan.
That was Nguma on the sideline without a helmet, so never a question here. Morris hanging in the pocket and fires a dot to the 11-yard line. First down, North Texas. And Damon Ward Jr. slow to get up after making the grab, picking up 18 yards.
Morris working his progression, getting over the middle a little later to Damon Ward and converting a huge 4th down. I mean, at first he's looking way over to the left and then comes back across the middle. One of his best balls of the afternoon so far.
Great concentration by Ward, who had just a monster game against South Alabama in the first game of the season. A career-high 230 yards for the young man from Beaumont, Texas.
Not a small receiver, not really a slot guy size, about 6 foot, 204 pounds. Able to get off the field under his own power. That's always good to see.
Well, that brings up a fresh set of downs. You talked about Morris being tough. He did a nice job just kind of sitting in the pocket there, not climbing too much. Waited for Ward to get open, and now they have a shot here from the 11-yard line to put some more points on the board. Harris wrapped up right away. A slew of Red Raiders defenders there. Amarion Banks, the defensive tackle, and Carroll there as well.
Yeah, really good penetration right at the point of attack. And that's Carroll right on his leg. And that is a big back to tackle. 6'2", 224 pounds, who can go 80. Not a lot of guys in the country like that. Oh, look at this.
What do you call this formation, P?
Swinging gate.
Morris going to keep it himself. Spins out of one tackle. Picks up maybe a yard. Isaac Smith there on the stop.
And that really was the swinging gate. He got it over there. You can snap it over there. You can throw it over there. This time they fake it. And they have Morris trying to run over there. He breaks one tackle from Rodriguez, but didn't look like he got a lot of push out there on the edge to block for him. Just sort of a weird looking play.
And Morris can run the ball. He has over 400 career rushing yards, had a couple of rushing touchdowns in that first game. So 3rd and 11, no swinging gate here, a more traditional formation.
I like the 4th down call better.
Here's Harris, eludes one tackle inside the 10-yard line. That's going to bring up 4th down. Ben Roberts makes sure he doesn't get more than 3 yards on that play.
And Morris was a little late to get all the way over to his back, who was his outlet, but wide open a little bit earlier. Had he gotten the ball a little bit earlier, he might have been able to threaten the goal line, but it came over late, still breaks a tackle and makes a bit of a play. But here they are with the kicker finally.
From the 26-yard line, Kali Nguma does have his helmet on
Got
now,
his helmet.
ready to kick.
He looks so nonchalant over there on 4th down, like he had no sense of urgency.
Well, if I had that great head of hair, I probably wouldn't wear a helmet either.
Eric Karros.
Ooh, kind of pushes it just a bit right. So a great drive there from North Texas, and they're not going to get anything out of it. Snap a little bit off, might have thrown Nguma off. 17-7.
Add savory seasoning and tempting buttery flavor into every delicious twist. Now that's enough to make you order a special delivery.
That seems like a lot.
They're really good. Dots, sensationally seasoned pretzels.
This Skinny Pop is amazing.
And only 3 simple ingredients.
We never have to stop.
We never have to stop.
Hey guys, I picked up some.
Surprise!
Salty, they're sweet, balanced grapes can't be beat. Fruit and nuts for you, natural cheese and crackers too. All together in a pack, the delicious balanced snack.
Sargento, we're real cheese people.
This is the most dangerous stretch of beach in the world. We lose people, but we save people too.
Go, breathe, just breathe.
Breathe, baby, breathe.
Rescue High Surf series premieres Sunday, September 22nd on Fox.
Fewer mistakes, one of the goals for Texas Tech head coach Joey McGuire. That has happened, and that has led to 3 drives and 3 scores. That's the way you draw it up, Pete.
Yeah, they've been excellent, and their stars have been great. You see the play selection. Brooks has 74 yards and a touchdown, and along a 21. Morton is 7 and 9, 121 yards, and it's all because of that running back.
This time they're keeping on the ground with the freshman Cameron Dickey, who has looked pretty well as well. It's been Taj Brooks getting the vast majority of the workload. 11 carries, 74 yards for Brooks, but that's a 10-yard carry for Dickey.
Yeah, Dickey is a guy that's really surprised them as a freshman from inner city Austin, high school quarterback and DB, making his presence felt as a young player in Lubbock.
On the play action, Morton going up top. Coy Aiken taking it to the house. A 70-yard touchdown for Coy Aiken. What a beautiful throw from Morton.
Well, Caleb Douglas, 6'4", is a deep threat guy, but so is Aiken. And usually they like the back shoulder to him. 6'2", 210, really started to flash last year. Had great position on Brian Nelson and a perfectly delivered ball from Morton. You see that. A little bit mistimed from Nelson, but Aiken was in a great position with plenty of space to stay in bounds.
Tech keeping the ball rolling. The Gino Garcia extra point is good. 4 drives, 3 touchdowns, 1 field goal, and none.
It is what it is.
Until it isn't. Remember before AI when you had to type to search? And when you couldn't ask your phone to do this?
Put these restaurants on a map.
Huh. What about taking a photo and reimagining it? Man, remember when all phones pretty much did the same stuff? Until they didn't.
Get the all-new Google Pixel 9 Pro phones at googlestore.com.
In the DQ app. That someone could be you, but only for a limited time. BOGO free any size Blizzard treats. Get it now in the DQ app. DQ. Happy tastes good.
a Pepsi and make your game day epic.
Okay, Limu, you said it. Then as I spike it, I'll tell them how Liberty Mutual customizes car insurance, so they only pay for what they need. Got it? Did you get that? Only pay for what you need.
Liberty, 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 liberty. It's hard to explain what this feels like. Moving piles of earth, towing up to 4,000 pounds, cutting millions of blades of grass. Nothing compares to experiencing it for yourself. You just have to get in the seat.
They're dudes.
Golf sucks, I'm done.
Being dudes.
Oh, that is not whipped cream.
Universal Basic Guys, all new Sunday on Fox.
Third touchdown of the season for Coy Aiken, the longest of his career. He did a lot of touchdown scoring in high school, where he had 31 touchdown catches as a senior to go along with 2,100 receiving yards.
Jeez, bracket that guy.
Right? Slow him down a little bit. Reese Burkhart on to kick off for the Red Raiders once again. He's been doing a lot of that here in the first half. And into the end zone for the touchback. As we get another look at Chandler Morris, who started his college career at Oklahoma in 2020, transferred to TCU, named the starting quarterback in 2022, but was hurt in the first game of the season. That was the national title game run, lost his job to Max Duggan, who led them to the national championship game. He started the next year, got hurt, lost the job, and he is now here at North Texas. You can see why Eric Morris calls him a little calloused. He's been through a lot of highs and lows for this young man in his career.
Yeah, a lot of these guys have been through the wars, and they kind of know what it's like.
Swings it out to that left side. Kyle Cook on the catch.
And by calloused, I think they mean he's really kind of faced a lot of adversity already as a young person and gotten to know new teams. You see the mesh point there. The RPO gets rid of the ball. On the move again.
And he's picked off here at the 40-yard line. Had a man underneath. This is Braylon Lux trying to take it into the end zone for the touchdown, and he does. Pick six, touchdown for Texas Tech. The defense answering the call this week.
Well, they get to one side with the pass play, and then they come back to the other side. Braylon Lux, a star at Fresno, comes here to Texas Tech and snatches that ball and just keeps after it. A big convoy and a couple stop moves, and he ends up in the end zone.
A 44-yard interception return for a touchdown for Braylon Lux. He missed the opener. This just his second game back, and he is a big part of the back end of this defense.
I mean, that belt is going to get worn out. He just steps right in front there of Kyle Cook and fights for that ball, and then shows some good patience. Taj Brooks-like patience. And every different guy at Texas Tech has got a different dance.
Well, don't you?
Not off the top of my head, no.
You just break plates and stuff.
Yes, like a true Greek, a real troglodyte. I've been impressed. I tell you, Texas Tech, not just defensively, 288 total yards in 20 minutes of play, 97 rushing yards, 191 passing yards, 11 yards a play is what they're averaging around. They have come out and made a statement. Other than the big play they gave up to Wyatt Young, they've dominated this game completely.
You know, I don't think you're ever going to silence all doubters, but after that performance in Pullman, there was certainly some angst in Lubbock about the direction of this football team. And as likable as Joey McGuire is, you can kind of sense that he was wearing it a little bit.
And you can see they played much better defense so far in this game. They've been a lot more disciplined and sound as far as penalties go and procedural stuff, which was a big problem in Pullman. And they went for it and got it on fourth down.
Yeah, all of the big issues, the questions, at least to this point in the ball game, have been answered.
And the question now is, can North Texas recover themselves? Chandler Morris getting back out on the field. And he's got to have a short memory after that pick to Lutz.
Well, we've talked about it, like a cornerback who gets beaten or a golfer who has a bad shot. You got to have that bounce back ability, and we've seen it with Morris. He had those 3 interceptions last week, but had 4 touchdown passes to go along with it. That wouldn't be good if that was another one, and it is off the tip pass. Bryce Ramirez, the inside linebacker, an incredible story coming back from that broken leg, gets the interception, the 2nd in a row for this Texas Tech defense.
That was like a Shohei Ohtani pop-up there. I mean, it went off the hands of Kyle Cook and went flying into the air, and somebody had to find it. It ended up being Ramirez. Maybe the ball gets on top of him. He doesn't expect it. No, he turns and he's looking. He just pops off his hands and face mask. And here's Morris. He takes a big shot to the face, but no flag. And Ramirez just goes up and doesn't even high point it. Doesn't have to. No one could find the ball.
So 2 interceptions in a row for Morris. A little flea flicker here for Morton, chucking it up there, and flags come in flying. That was big old Mason Tharp bracketed in coverage there, but they had their hands all over him.
Yeah, Jalen Peoples just taking the penalty.
Number 2, defense. 15-yard penalty.
That's Evan Jackson.
Yeah, sorry about that. Evan Jackson with the, well, the PI instead of hearing the fight song play. Nice designed flea flicker to try to get the ball downfield to Tharp.
So the penalty puts the ball at the 10-yard line. Numbers for Morton not too shabby. 192 yards, couple of touchdowns, only 2 incompletions. Going to keep the ball himself this time. Let's see if he can get into the end zone. And he does. Couple of touchdown passes, and now a touchdown run for Baron Morton, his first on his feet this season.
Well, so much to respect out there with the way their run game has been. Taj Brooks is going to pull everybody over to the left, and it's just Morton versus Starling there on a race for the pylon. And that belt, I mean, the leather is going to be just worn at the end of it.
Most points in a half since week 1 of 2022 when they had 42 against Murray State. Everything going right for the Red Raiders right now.
That's 14 points in about 20 seconds there.
2 costly interceptions. The second tip ball off the hands of Kyle Cook. North Texas has some work to do offensively because Texas Tech is absolutely rolling like a freight train right now on their home turf in Lubbock.
With wet AMD, I worry I'm not only losing my sight, but my time to enjoy it. But now, I can open up my world with Vabysmo. Right. Vabysmo is the first FDA-approved treatment for people with wet AMD that improves vision and delivers a chance for up to 4 months between treatments, so I can do more of what I love. Vabysmo works differently. It's the only treatment designed to block 2 causes of wet AMD.
Vabysmo is an eye injection. Don't take it if you have an infection, active eye swelling, or are allergic to it. Treatments like Vabysmo can cause an eye infection or retinal detachment. Vabysmo may cause a temporary increase in eye pressure after receiving the injection. There is an uncommon risk of heart attack or stroke associated with blood clots. Severe swelling of blood vessels in the eye can occur. Most common eye side effects were cataract and broken blood vessels.
Open up your world with Vabysmo.
A chance for up to 4 months between treatments with Vabysmo. Ask your doctor.
There is nothing like a Wendy's Frosty. It's cool. It's creamy. It's only $1 right now. Wait, what? The one and only Frosty is $1? Gotta be Wendy's.
So, what did you think of the pitch I emailed you?
Yes, the one that you emailed me. I remember. The pitch of Dog Days. What a title. Here we are. Very Victorian, which I loved. Unique relationship is formed. I love unique relationships.
With a twist.
I know, because I read it.
Great. I'm going to tell them you're interested.
Tonight, in your spacious La Quinta suite, your eyes could use a break after a long day of seeing, things. But hey, free waffles always make you forget. Tonight, La Quinta. Tomorrow, you shine.
Harper and the Phillies look to close in on an NL East crown, while Lindor leads the Mets fight for a wild card spot. Or Diamondbacks, Brewers. It's baseball night in America, Thursday on Fox.
Good day to be a Red Raider and a Red Raider fan. So much history with this program and so much concern coming into this game, but the call has been answered by Joey Maguire's troops. This has been historically an offensive-minded program, and it still is, but Maguire's a defensive-minded guy, and he's getting both sides of the ball doing work here. Baron Morton with his touchdown run to go along with 2 touchdown passes. 38 first-half points for Texas Tech.
Chandler Morris, 9 for 14 and a couple of picks. It'll be very interesting to see how the rest of this game plays out for Texas Tech with this very big lead, because North Texas, obviously, quick strike offense. They know how to score. Will Texas Tech have a big exhale and leave with bad feelings if they let North Texas back into this game? Morris hasn't really played badly. That last interception was not his fault. And the one before was a contested ball. They really fought for that ball. He hasn't been unsharp in this game.
No, we've seen Morris throw some fantastic passes, keeping it on the ground here with Demaje Harris. Picks up 2, maybe 3, so that's going to bring up 2nd down and 7. But this offense and the weapons they have, a wide receiver in Ward and Sheffield, Blair Conright, they can put up some points, but they need to do just that here on the next couple of drives here in the first half to stay in the ball game here in enemy territory. But they're keeping it on the ground once again. And that's Demaje Harris. Ramirez on the stop from that inside linebacker spot after his interception.
Yeah, just a lot to feel good about right now for Tim DeRuyter's defense.
Here's Harris again, trying to bounce it to the outside after the middle was plugged up, but there was nowhere to go. C.J. Baskerville from his safety spot, making sure that 4th down was going to be coming up here, and just nowhere to go.
Well, they are really pressing that run, and when they see the ball handed off, the safeties are flying up. We've seen some really good tackling. Brendan Jordan, C.J. Baskerville.
Punt unit on from North Texas. This is Sawyer Evans, the junior from Arlington, Texas. Kelly lets it bounce in front of him, and then it is downed right around the 25-yard line. It's that time again, Petros. Time to check in with Mike Hill, see what's coming up at halftime. Hey, Mike.
Coming up on the State Farm halftime, Alabama hits the road in Madison for the first time under Kalen DeBoer. Boston College and Missouri clash in the only ranked matchup of the day. And we'll preview the first Oregon-Oregon State battle in the post-Pac-12 era. Danny Petros, see you at the half.
Thank you, sir. A 31-point ball game here in Lubbock.
Look out for those Beavs today, Dan.
Yeah?
Yeah, look out for the Beavs. They got a chip on their shoulder, being left alone by their big brother.
Don't they always have a chip on their shoulder? Taj Brooks running like he has a chip on his shoulder.
They're really pulling out all the stops now. Zach Kitley calls a speed option look. Morton does a good job pressing it and then getting the pitch out. They just look like they're very calm and collected running their offense. They have a sense of urgency, but they're not out there spazzing out like they were last week against Washington State.
There's Brooks again making one man miss. The fact that he did not lose yardage, he turns a 2-yard loss into a 3-yard gain. This kid is special.
It's like he's got eyes in the back of his head, and if he did, he wouldn't be able to see anyway because the helmet's on. Look at, he feels that coming from behind him. That is very difficult to do when that Will linebacker runs through. That's Jalen Smith. He runs through on the backside. Usually you're tackled.
Here's Brooks again. That last carry put him right at 100 yards. Make that about 105 now.
Yeah, he just doesn't look like he's giving that much effort. You know, kind of like Ron Dane in a way. He's been compared to Emmitt Smith, Le'Veon Bell, guys like that. But, man, he takes that ball, and when he sees the hole, he's in it, and he's falling forward. Really impressive return for Taj Brooks today.
7.4 yards per carry. As we mentioned earlier, he had 153 yards in the season opener. Missed last week's game, which was a big problem. Wide open over the middle of the field is John Carlos Miller II for the score, a 45-yard touchdown. Tech is unstoppable. Since 2000, they've only had 45 points and a half once.
And this is Taj Brooks again. Just that play action that has to be honored. Holds all the linebackers and safeties for the Mean Green.
The result of the play is a touchdown. After the play was over, unsportsmanlike conduct, number 9, Texas Tech. That is his first unsportsmanlike conduct foul of the game.
I guess John Carlos
penalty will be enforced on the kickoff.
Got a little too geeked out there. But when the points come rolling in like this, it's hard to control your emotion.
Well, you have to excuse John Carlos just a little bit. He played at Elon, which didn't have quite as big of a stadium or atmosphere as they do here in Lubbock.
I mean, Taj Brooks' presence on the field to play action, it just holds everybody. You see everybody come flying up. And that time it was Javen Anderson that was really exploited, and he knows it. You see him turn frantically as he sees John Carlos Miller out of Elon, the junior transfer, behind him and making the play. Is it the dunk over the thing that made it happen? If you get a penalty, you still get the belt?
I think so.
Wow.
I think when you put 45 points on the board in the first half, you still get the belt. That was a good dunk, though. John Carlos 6'5", getting up.
And Matt Capone and Eric Morris have been shocked. Their defense has been utterly destroyed here in the first half. Joey McGuire talking to John Carlos Miller there.
Yeah, basically saying, you know what, it's not a big deal here, but in a tight ball game it would be, so let's just remember that.
Well, those two picks really turned the complexion of the game into something that is going to have to be managed throughout the rest of the morning and afternoon here in Lubbock, as opposed to really finding a way to compete.
There's Sheffield on the return. Out to about the 28, maybe the 29-yard line. Tomorrow, week 2 of the NFL kicks off on Fox as Derek Carr leads the Saints against Dak Prescott and the Cowboys, or the Rams taking on Kyler Murray and the Cardinals. Check for the game in your area only on Fox and the Fox Sports app. Good to have college football and the NFL on Fox going in full swing. Good time of year. Kids going back to college.
The tortillas are flying
every day, indeed. Got to save that tortilla from those breakfast burritos when you're in Lubbock.
They're going to run out of grains here.
Oh, no. Another interception for the Red Raiders on a tip ball. This time it's Chapman Lewis, the talented free safety.
We've seen all these young guys make plays on their back end now. And that one again off the hands.
Just an incredibly unfortunate turn of events. Right off the hands of the intended receiver, and then Lewis, the recipient of that gift. And there is Chandler Morris after that 3-interception week last week. He has to wonder what else could go wrong.
Well, 2 dropped balls basically leading to turnovers, and the 1 contested pick from Braylon Lux, and another situation where Texas Tech could be dancing in the end zone in moments.
Just a terrible feeling for a quarterback. You put the ball right on the numbers, and
3 interceptions in their last 4 drives.
That time it was Landon Sides who couldn't hold on to it. And 3 interceptions in the game. This Texas Tech defense had 1 interception coming in, and today they have tripled that. Trying to put some more points on the board. 2nd and 12. Quick pass out to Douglas. Douglas picks up 5 before he's wrapped up.
The Red Raiders are going to have a lot of opportunities to sharpen their knives, so to speak, get ready for Big 12 play as this game continues to get further and further away from the mean green, and they can start getting the ball to different guys, shuffling different people in, creating experience and depth. That's something you can do when you build a big lead like this.
Morton still with just 2 incompletions on the day. He's thrown for 244 yards and 3 touchdowns so far. 3rd and 5 here. And squeezes it in to Dre McCray for the first down.
Dre McCray, a great receiver at Austin Peay at the FCS level, has been here at Texas Tech for a while, has really shined in the return game. They want to get him more in these situations, and this is a great situation to start working those different scenarios for your players.
Morton bracketed by running backs, and this time it is Taj Brooks once again going to be just shy of the first down, picks up 9. Running tempo here on 2nd and 2. On the ground again, nowhere to go for Brooks. Roderick Brown, one of the 2 mean green defenders there.
Yeah, Roderick Brown is one of their best players up front. Defense is kind of set around him, and he gets on top of Brooks there. Hard to get away from a guy 5'11", 290 pounds when he gets his hands on you.
3rd and 3 for Texas Tech. If North Texas could keep him out of the end zone, that would be a small victory, but any victory is something at this point when you're down 45-7. Morton over the middle, complete. Jalen Conyers in for another Tech touchdown.
We talked about this added tight end piece. Jalen Conyers from Arizona State. Really versatile player.
Elite ball skills, didn't have to do a whole lot here.
No, he just runs the crossing route, and he's by everybody. Javen Anderson having a tough time keeping track of all these Texas Tech weapons back there on the back end.
Burkhardt on for the extra point. It is up. It is good. 52 on the board for Texas Tech. They have exploded here on the home turf. Just over 3 left in the first half.
Tom Brady, the broadcaster? Guy's got everything in the world. Why do it? Tommy, why?
Yeah, Tommy. Why don't you lay on a beach getting fat on pina coladas? Why not buy a soccer team? Got one. Dude, why would they ask why? What are they even talking about? Kid, what they're really asking is, why don't you quit football? They don't understand that you live and breathe for football. Because you're Tom freaking Brady.
And one day, maybe the greatest there ever was.
Back to work.
So 52 points on the board for Texas Tech in the first half. That ties the most points in school history. It was against Indiana State in 2005 when they also put 52 up on the board in the first half.
Heartbreaking for Larry Bird to see the Sycamores go down like that day.
I'm sure he was crushed. It has been quite a turn of events compared to last week for Texas Tech. A much needed performance here in the first half, and certainly you have to feel for North Texas. 3 interceptions for their new quarterback, Chandler Morris, the TCU transfer. The first one he tried to squeeze into good coverage, but the other 2 bounced off receivers' hands. He hit him right in the numbers. Not his fault.
Yeah, bad luck and unfortunate focus for that North Texas offense. And Chandler Morris is going to have to find something to be confident about, and they're going to have to find some way to relieve their defense. Those guys have been out of the field way too long.
We talked about those small victories. At this point, you just need a couple of them. That's Zach Evans, the Minnesota transfer, with his first carry of the ball game, making his debut for the Mean Green. Battled injuries in the spring and the fall. His first carry is going to go in the books as a 5-yard loss, kind of the way things have been going for North Texas.
They had the one big play to Wyatt Young. Moved the ball a little bit intermittently before and after that, but other than that, it's been a nightmare.
Short pass to Evans. Evans out to the 25, and that'll bring up 3rd down for North Texas. As we are creeping up on the 2-minute mark.
It's not a warning.
Yeah.
We call it a timeout around here.
Indeed. A little different than the NFL these days. What a day it is to be a Red Raider. 52 points on the board in the first half, and we still have 2 to go. Back after this.
Tom Brady, the broadcaster? Guy's got everything in the world. Why do it? Tommy, why?
Yeah, Tommy. Why don't you lay on a beach getting fat on pina coladas? Why not buy a soccer team? Got one. Dude, why would they ask why? What are they even talking about? Kid. What they're really asking is, why don't you quit football? They don't understand that you live and breathe for football. Because you're Tom freaking Brady.
And one day, you'll be the greatest there ever was.
Back to work.
Can Lamar get it done?
They're trying to write us off. Y'all got it? Yeah, hard.
Oh, you know we got it. Yup. That's right.
Oh, you know we got it. Let's go. Oh, you know we got it. Let's fight. Y'all ready? Oh, you know we got it.
Let's get it. Let's get it. He ain't never gonna stop us, cause
Buy the new $5 meal deal at McDonald's. Here's 1, 2, 3, 4, and the price makes 5.
So much.
That's everything you get with the new $5 meal deal at McDonald's.
Yep, you are not seeing that incorrectly. It is 52-7. A nice start for Chandler Morris, the TCU transfer. Touchdown pass, 100 yards passing, and then just kind of some bad luck with 3 straight interceptions on 3 straight drives. 2 of those hit the receivers either in the chest or in the hands, bounced up in the air, and were picked off by Texas Tech.
And they really handled sudden change well, the Red Raiders, as opposed to the Mean Green.
Little shovel pass. Picks up a nice 5 or 6 yards. That's Zach Evans, who remains in the game at running back. Minnesota transfer getting his first work for the team this season. And we could see a whole lot of new faces for both sides here in the second half if things...
Yeah, I mean, what's interesting is time of possession is around the same in this game. But Texas Tech's got 403 yards of offense so far, and they only had, and they moved the ball pretty well. Last week at Washington State, they couldn't score, but they had 491 at Washington State entirely last week. This has been one of the most prolific halves of offense in the history of Texas Tech, if not the most prolific. And Mike Leach isn't on that sideline. Joey McGuire.
But I tell you what, as the coach has alluded to, he is watching from somewhere, the late, great Mike Leach, because he certainly has ties to both of these staffs who know each other very well.
How much time he had for people and how many different people in all walks of life he mentored is mind-boggling.
Well, there's a flag that's going to come in. Inadvertent contact there from Jensen Walker. Kind of lost where he was on the field.
Yeah, seems like a lack of attention to detail there. And there's been some sloppy play.
Kick catch interference. Number 52 of the kicking team. 15-yard penalty. First down, Texas Tech.
Jensen Walker, the long snapper.
Oh, yeah. Why do you think he was down there? It's all, they always say on a punt, like, wow, he always makes the first guy miss. It's like, yeah, the first guy's the long snapper. His knees don't bend.
Hey, long snappers are people, too.
What I'm saying is nobody hits them, so they just run down there, and then they always miss.
Fair.
Except that time, he got a penalty. Would have been better if he missed.
Apologies to all long snappers in the world.
Well, they're just
very jaded.
They very rarely make that play, Dan, is all I'm trying to say.
That's fair. That's fair. And accurate. Another positive game for Texas Tech. Dre McCray picks up 4. A little jet sweep.
And that's a guy they want to get more involved in the offense beyond special teams, and able to do that.
Yeah, it's hard when you have Kelly and Douglas and Aiken. Not a lot of balls to go around, but they're finding a way to do that here. They're spreading the ball around. Jacoby Williams on that catch.
And that's a third-string running back.
This time pressure coming, and Morton just gets rid of it. Quentin Hammonds, one of those bringing the heat for that North Texas defense. 1:01 to go here in the first half. What do you say? What do you say in the locker room if you're Eric Morris?
You have to work your stuff. You have to say, we're going to work on this. We need to do this. I mean, the season's not over just because we got destroyed here in Lubbock in one half.
Do you set a goal? Hey, let's get to 21 points. Hey, let's have 3 drives where we put points on the board.
Yeah, I mean, whatever their goals are, they're going to have to be adjusted at halftime here.
Pressure coming quickly, and Conyers makes the catch, but third down's coming up.
But for a long time, North Texas has been a program on the come up. No longer in Conference USA. They're in the AAC. There's more money flowing through there. They have the coach that they want in Eric Morris. This is not the end of the world for them. It just feels like it right now with the flying tortillas.
Yeah, certainly not a great feeling going into that locker room for North Texas, but I will say Morris has done a tremendous job with this program. 5 wins last year, massive roster turnover. As I mentioned earlier, they led the nation with 77 new players, 41 freshmen, 36 transfers.
The ball being snapped. North Texas takes their first charge time out of the half. 30 seconds delay.
Amazingly, they still returned 14 players who started multiple games for them last year. And you know, you look at the numbers today, obviously not an indication of that, but coming into this one, the defense was vastly improved over a team that ranked dead last in FBS and rush defense last year. But you got to work quickly when you bring in 77 new players. Not easy to make those adjustments when you're Morris and his staff.
No, and that's part of college football today. How do you overcome that? You have to recruit to your personality, recruit to the personality of your team and the people that you think will fit. They are in the midst of a big defensive transition. They thought they played really well last week on defense as Matt Capone is coming in and putting in that Iowa State defensive look. But those guys for Texas Tech, especially Baron Morton, have had their way with the mean green so far.
3rd and 11 coming up here with 22 seconds left in the half. Wood in a throw, has some time. Good coverage, trying to get it in there to Taj Brooks, but Shane Witter Was right on him.
Good job by Witter. Battling a really strong player out there in Taj Brooks, trying to run a wheel route. Zach Kittley and Joey McGuire still going for it here at the end of the first half, but they are going to give it up.
Witter gave him the Dikembe Mutombo there after he broke up the pass. The old finger wave. I don't know if I would encourage that when you're down 52-7. Ball bouncing around and down at the 10-yard line with 7 seconds left. I would assume that North Texas will take a knee, lick their wounds, and head into the locker room and try to figure out how they can get a few positives going here in the second half.
And that's not beyond the realm of possibility. I mean, they've had a lot of bad luck. Their defense has been exposed, but their defense has been put some really short fields in adverse situations by the 3 back-to-back-to-back interceptions.
Yeah, you come out here in the second half and you put up a few points, you have some positive plays, you make a few stops, and you know you have a little something to build on.
Well, that was the first punt they forced all day.
There's a positive. See, that's the glass is always half full with you, Petros.
Here for you.
And Texas Tech going to get the ball here first. Attempting to put up a few more points as that one goes through the end zone for a touchback. Way through the end zone. As you take a look at the numbers here, Red Raiders racking up 415 yards of total offense to go along with 19 first downs. Everything that could go right did. Everything that could go wrong for North Texas did as well.
35-0 in the second quarter is really all you need to know about how this thing got away from North Texas.
That was the team comparison sponsored by T-Mobile, America's largest 5G network. Cameron Brown now in at quarterback, relieving Baron Morton.
Pretty good day for Baron Morton, 1 half, and you don't have to come out of the tunnel.
Yeah.
False start. Number 72, offense. 5-yard penalty. First down.
Now these are some of the problems that plagued Texas Tech last week. Sheridan Wilson, the center, just his 3rd career start. His feet are wet, and they don't want to see that, even if a new quarterback is in the game.
A lot of issues along the offensive line due in part to injuries. Going to keep it himself is Cameron Brown, the sophomore from Byron, Georgia. And the West Georgia transfer.
Played well at West Georgia last year. A hoops and track guy in high school in Georgia. And ran the ball last week up on the Palouse a little bit.
Not a small guy, 6'2", 230 pounds. He is put together and delivers to Cameron Dickey there, who is wrapped up well shy of the yard of the line to gain. Evan Jackson, the man on the stop for North Texas.
They've been able to get Cameron Dickey a lot of run here, also while featuring Taj Brooks. Really a buffet for Joey McGuire and Zach Kittley on what they want to do offensively and what they want to sharpen up here in the second half and who they want to get experience for.
Just 8 carries on the season for Dickey coming in, has 4 here today. That pass off the hands of Jordan Brown. Yeah, for a guy like Cameron Dickey too, as we look at the numbers for Baron Morton, 15 of 19, 264 yards to go along with those 4 touchdown passes. So that's now 10 touchdown passes on the season. And let's not forget, he ran one in as well.
Played about as well as you could ask, especially coming off a game where they thought he pressed way too hard.
He really did, and that touchdown pass to Coy Aiken was just absolute perfection. DT Sheffield with a solid punt return. Now let's send it to Mike Hill in Los Angeles for an All-State game break.
SEC action, South Carolina, number 16 LSU in a good win in Columbia. 2014 Gamecocks till Garrett Nussmeier finds Kyron Lacey for the 12-yard score. 2-point conversion failed, so it's 24-16 South Carolina at the half. Dan and Petros.
All right, Mike, thank you very much. Zach Evans in at running back after the 53-yard punt and the 19-yard return. Chandler Morris looking for some positivity after 3 interceptions in the first half. Going up top here. Another fearless throw looking for his former TCU partner in crime, Blair Conright, who transferred here with him.
I mean, he delivered that ball. Very catchable for Conright, and a little bit of room there for him to come down with it. Morris has been set back in this game, but unafraid, like you said, Dan.
Well, and that's what they love about him. They love the bounce back ability. Certainly he's had to do that throughout his career. Evans with the short gain. And if you're North Texas, you keep the starters out there, or most of the starters out there, and how
it's a really fine line, right? Because you want to get your offense running on time again and feel good about it as you look at Coach Morris. But at the same time, you don't want to get beat up against a confident, hard-hitting Red Raiders defense for no reason.
Morris rolling to his left, kind of loses his footing for a minute and eludes a potential sack and just gets rid of it. It was Jacob Rodriguez and Braylon Rigsby who were giving chase.
And really the big chance was on first down. The long throw to Conright. They didn't come up with that. And that's what leads to the punt here as Coach Morris's homecoming is becoming more and more sour.
Not an easy homecoming so far for Eric Morris. Had so many great memories in this stadium as a player, as a coach with Mike Leach, as an offensive coordinator for Texas Tech. Hoping his defense can get a stop here and get his ball back to his offense. Here's Josh Kelly, wrapped up inside the 10-yard line.
Return by Josh Kelly to the 9-yard line.
47-yard punt back after this.
Balanced rates can't be beat. Fruit and nuts for you. Natural cheese and crackers too. All together in a pack. The delicious balanced snack.
Sargento. We're real cheese people.
From meat-free Monday to Sizzle Pan Sunday. So many ways to save. Life ready, wallet happy. That's 365 by Whole Foods Market.
Tonight, in your spacious La Quinta suite, your eyes could use a break after a long day of seeing, things. But hey, free waffles always make you forget. Tonight, La Quinta. Tomorrow, you shine.
The perfect morning calls for the perfect, ridiculously craveable pairing. Jimmy Dean Griddle Cakes. Your family's pancakey, sausagey, griddle cakey, sweet and savory favorite.
Perennial power square off.
when Nebraska hosts Stanford in a marquee top 5 showdown. Women's volleyball, Wednesday at 8 Eastern, 5 Pacific, only on the Big Ten Network.
I understand where I'm at. I'm in Lubbock, Texas, at the home of Mike Leach, one of the greatest offensive minds in the world. But you're not going to win the Big 12 scoring 60 points and giving up 59 points. It doesn't happen. It hasn't happened. It hasn't happened. So the thing that has to get fixed, and it starts with me and being a defensive coach, it's killing me, that we got to get better on defense.
Whatever they cooked up during the week, it was a recipe that would either win a Michelin star or certainly going to win a ball game. I mean, because their defense has been absolutely outstanding, as their offense has as well.
Against one of the most prolific offenses in the country. It is something that Coach McGuire knows very well, though, stopping that air raid. And you see what they've done defensively today. And I watched that entire press conference, and I was really impressed with his honesty and how candid he was with the Lubbock media. And saying, I know that Mike Leach is from here, and you guys like shootouts, but if we want to win the Big 12, it can't be like that.
Well, that's a valid point. Jacoby Williams with a nice run here for the Red Raiders. I don't care how good your offense is, you have to have, at the very least, a serviceable defense. And coming into this one, if you just look at the numbers, it wasn't serviceable. They were last in the Big 12 in most major defensive statistical categories. That will not be the case after today.
No, I mean, I remember being in Lubbock with Coach Morris when he was a offensive coordinator and Cliff Kingsbury was the head coach and Mahomes was the quarterback. And the defensive coordinator at that time said, all we need is 3 stops a game to win. And a lot of the times, we can't get them.
That's crazy. Quick pass to the outside. That's complete to Brady Boyd. Redshirt junior from Southlake, Texas, and Minnesota transfer.
Starting to be able to get a lot of different guys in the game very early in the third quarter. Going to be a lot of fun on the sideline for Texas Tech. It's a real joy when you're able to build a lead and watch guys that maybe don't get to play as much go out there and be featured.
Quick pass to Micah Hudson, the highly touted receiver, one of the best recruits they have had in years, a 5-star recruit by nearly every service. And that's been a question that's been asked a lot by the local media. When are you going to get Micah Hudson involved? Well, when you have Kelly and Douglas and Aiken and McCray, you know, not a lot of room. I don't care how good you are with those guys there. So good to see him out there catching a pass.
I mean, they have such a big lead. They might be able to specifically address every media concern in Lubbock throughout the afternoon.
Picked off. Nice play by Brian Nelson II. And he's not just returning it, he's trying to score a touchdown. Gets down inside the 15-yard line. And North Texas with a positive play here, courtesy of the defense and Brian Nelson.
Well, one-on-one, it's Hudson versus Nelson. Hudson doesn't really look like he expected the ball that quickly. Sort of got on top of him, didn't come back for it at all. And Nelson, with the
Stone Cold Steve Austin celebration.
We finally got to see the Stone Cold. Hard to do when you're down 45, but he did do it.
That's a tough one. Big play for him, though. First Texas Tech turnover of the day. And inside the 20-yard line, in the red area already. North Texas with his shot. Moore's going to keep it on the ground. And that's Zach Evans picking up 2.
And if I'm Eric Morris in this situation, I don't know how many more drives I want to go with Chandler Morris. You want Chandler Morris to feel confident, maybe get a touchdown throw here, and maybe that's it. We'll see.
I was thinking the exact same thing, P. If they can find the end zone here, just let him end on a positive note. Overthrows the intended receiver, which was Jeremiah Aaron. 3rd and 8 coming up. And you look at Chandler Morris and the numbers so far today, 11 of 20, 128 yards, 1 touchdown pass, which was a nice one to the youngster Wyatt Young that went for 75 yards. They're going to keep it on the ground with Evans, and he is swallowed up at the line of scrimmage. Amir Washington, first guy there.
Great job by Washington just coming down the line of scrimmage. They miss a lot of guys on the edges. For Texas Tech, Bryce Ramirez involved as well. Quick here on 4th and 8.
Into the end zone. Touchdown, North Texas. Aaron hauls it in. Second touchdown pass of the day for Chandler Morris. It goes for 15 yards.
Aaron took a bit of a shot there at the end of it. Needs a little help coming off. They only rush 3, run a little loop, but Morris gets that ball out in between 3 Texas Tech defenders. He threads the needle. Morris gets that ball to Aaron.
Good pass, good catch, especially with the contact after the fact. Look, he kind of got hit right on the ball. I feel like that might have been landing on the ball. Maybe got the wind knocked out of him. Hopefully nothing more serious than that. But it was the interception that set up the touchdown for North Texas. Big play from the defense, and Brian Nelson leads to a touchdown, 52-14.
They're getting closer.
Another health insurance commercial, another aqua aerobics scene.
Yep, most health insurance companies see us all the same. Smiley seniors, golfing, hiking.
Don't forget antiquing.
That's why I chose Humana.
They see me, not a stereotypical senior.
I'm pre-diabetic, so I talked one-on-one with the Humana health educator who really helped me. Now I'm taking free cooking and meditation classes.
Not aqua aerobics.
Better care begins with listening. Humana, a more human way to healthcare.
If you have to cut, pack, drive, scout, weld, stack, feed, pull, load, tow, drop, and haul all in a single day, then you just have to get in the seat of the new John Deere Gator XUV. Learn more at your John Deere dealer.
There is nothing like a Wendy's Frosty. It's cool. It's creamy. It's only $1 right now. Wait, what? The one and only Frosty is $1? Gotta be Wendy's.
Heisman hopeful Dylan Gabriel leads Oregon.
Got a man! Touchdown!
Against Oregon State. Today at 3:30 Eastern on Fox.
At Harry's, we designed our razors to start sharp and stay smooth, so your 8th shave is as smooth as your first. And at as little as $2 per blade, they cost half of what the other guys charge. Wake up to Harry's. Get your trial set for just $7 at harrys.com/smooth.
I got this $1,000 camera for only $41 on Deal Dash.
DealDash.com. Online auctions since 2009. This PlayStation 5 sold for only 50 cents. This iPad Pro sold for less than $34. And this Nintendo Switch sold for less than $20.
I got this KitchenAid stand mixer for only $56. I got this barbecue smoker for $26.
And shipping is always free.
Go to DealDash.com right now and see how much you can save.
Welcome to Applebee's. What can I get you?
I have the 50-cent bone.
Cover your mouth. They could steal your order.
The 50-cent boneless wings?
I'll have the same.
Perfect. They'll never see it coming.
Stone Cold Steve Austin, then known as Steve Williams, played defensive end at North Texas in 86 and 87. Stone Cold went on to become one of the greatest pro wrestlers of all time. Went into the Hall of Fame. This is his patented celebration. And Brian Nelson, after his splendid interception and return to set up a touchdown, paying homage.
Maybe that'll get him going.
Let's hope so. Let's hope so. I would love nothing more than to have a great game. Texas Tech fans probably hoping it continues in this direction.
Well, something to feel good about for the Mean Green and Eric Morris. The big question is, does Chandler Morris come back out and try to create a little bit more offense to take back to Denton? Texas Tech is really working a lot of their weapons. They've had 11 different receivers catch a pass. And Morton was great. 4 touchdowns, no interceptions, 15-19, a very efficient day.
And so Morton has taken a seat. This is Cameron Brown, who will tuck it and run, the transfer from West Georgia.
It looked okay on the last drive and then threw a pick that we just saw that led to the Stone Cold celebration and the touchdown.
2nd and 4. He came into this game having attempted 1 pass on the season, so this will by far be the most extensive work that Cameron Brown has seen. Keeping it on the ground again with Dickey. Dickey has room, picks up the 1st down, and a bit more before he's dragged out of bounds by the safety, Jaden Hill.
You know, one of those things about working with another great back, look at Dickey here. He's a freshman, but look at the patience he shows. Really likes to hold up and wait for that block to come through and then explodes down the field. That's from watching the other guy work.
Right.
When you're around a great player like Taj Brooks, it helps the whole room because guys see how he prepares and the way he goes about his business, and they can emulate it.
We talk about that so often as that pass misses the mark intended for Jordan Brown. We talk about that so often with quarterbacks, but maybe not enough with running backs. And speaking of Taj Brooks, he had himself a day, 17 carries, 109 yards, and a touchdown, and at times just making it look easy.
Yeah, very patient, very much in tune with the offense and what they're trying to do, knows exactly what his role is. Even took his mouthpiece out 2 yards early on that one because he knew that he was not going to be tested on his way into the end zone. They didn't have him last week, and it was glaringly evident how different they are without him.
It was kind of funny. Taj Brooks arrived at Big 12 Media Days in Las Vegas with 250 custom poker chips. They didn't have any monetary value, but there was a QR code directing folks to tajtime.com because he will eventually, if things keep going in this direction, be the all-time leading rusher at Texas Tech if he can catch up with Byron Hanspard. He's about 1,000 yards behind him at this point. Big hit coming in from that defense, courtesy of Evan Jackson.
Yeah, leading Brady Boyd right into the free safety out of Houston. Evan Jackson, who we talked about, has played well. Boyd takes a hit there and can't hang on. And they're going to punt it.
North Texas turning that interception into points. And we will find out shortly after this punt if we will see Morris back out at quarterback. There has been a competition as DT Sheffield shakes a tackle or two, gets it out past the 15-yard line for the back out quarterback spot. But the Mean Green defense looking a little tough on this play. Let's see what the offense can do after this.
All aboard the hype train. We're going all the way. Woo!
I heard this hype train runs an ice-cold Dr. Pepper.
And the hopes of overly optimistic fans. Hey guys, check out my new tattoo. We are so winning it all. Even the national media agrees.
And they're never wrong about anything.
Oh, wait. Our quarterback got injured in practice. Okay, everyone off the hype train.
Well, that didn't last long.
College football, it's a Pepper thing.
It's time for a new era of chicken. A slow roasted era. A quesadilla-shaped era. A cheesy, saucy, era. The Cantina Chicken Quesadilla, only at Taco Bell.
To help save for our home, we stopped going on trips and giving each other expensive gifts. We handmade them instead. That one took me 3 weeks. Getting pre-qualified for a home loan is easier. Only took like 3 minutes. It's you.
It's me.
There are 100 more of you. This whole thing just got tougher.
Hyena. Hippopotamus.
Pass. Light it up!
The Floor premieres Wednesday, September 25th on Fox.
Big day of football in Texas. In addition to our game tonight, UCF takes on TCU on Fox, and Air Force battling Baylor on FS1. Prayers up, hoping for tighter games than we have right now in Lubbock, at least for the broadcasters.
Gotten a little loose, but Morris is back out there.
He is. Going to give him another shot. Oh, no. I'd take him out right now.
That's the third time we've seen a ball pop up in the air and almost be picked. The last two were picked. Mykal Dingle Jr. was in the area as Eric Morris has left Chandler Morris out there and wants to see more from this offense, wants to see them do better.
Well, they did well when they got the ball with the short field last time. It was a touchdown pass for Chandler Morris. A little bit of a high snap here. Swings it. Quick pass to Miles Coleman.
Just kind of a quick outside screen there to Coleman, and well blocked. Nice job by Oscar Hammond, the tight end, coming out with a lead block.
Oh, nice one-handed snag by Evans. He is met behind the line of scrimmage, but still tremendous effort.
Good job by John Curry coming up and making the stop, but a really athletic play by a guy that they're happy to see get some action. Zach Evans, we were talking about, a player at Minnesota for 2 years who's been a little beat up, but they like his Power 4 experience.
They got injured a bit in the spring, healed up and came back and performed well in the summer, and then got bitten by the injury bug again. But he was a kid. He was a freshman of the week once in the Big Ten with Minnesota. And that's Shane Porter, the Kansas State transfer from Friendswood, Texas, with the carry. Take the handoff to Porter again, taking a shot deep, wide open, unable to hold on. That was Blair Conright.
Got him a little turned around out there. Morris is still out there slinging it. You see the combo route. Carnes cuts it short. Conright keeps going. And yeah, he had to turn a little bit, but the ball's right in both hands. Another drop for the Mean Green.
Going to go for it on 4th and 7. Why not? They haven't converted a third down yet. 0 for 9 in the game. Looking to convert on 4th. And Morris not going to be able to do so as he has to tuck it and run. And he's a bit slow to get up. I have a feeling this is going to be the last time that we're seeing him on the field tonight.
Yeah, that's the last thing you want to see if you're Eric Morris. You go for it on 4th down, leave your quarterback out there, and then he runs it and gets hit while he's sliding.
Not good. Still 52-14 here in Lubbock. Here's the slide and the contact. Back after this.
You know what's brilliant? Boring. Think about it. Boring is the unsung catalyst for bold.
What straps gold to a rocket and hurtles it into space? Boring does.
Boring makes vacations happen.
Early retirement's possible.
And startups start up.
Because it's smart, dependable, and steady. All words you want from your bank. For nearly 160 years, PNC Bank has been brilliantly boring, so you can be happily fulfilled. Which is pretty unboring if you think about it.
Looking for a reason to try the new $5 meal deal at McDonald's? Here's 1, 2, 3, 4, and the price makes 5. That's everything you get with the new $5 meal deal at McDonald's.
Deliveries happen.
Hello? We didn't order that.
Are you sure?
This happens.
Socks. No.
That happens.
Hey, get out of there.
Charlie's up to bat in the pinch.
Oh, let's go.
Home happens. Be there with Ring. Learn more at Ring.
Online auctions since 2009. This PlayStation 5 sold for only 50 cents. This iPad Pro sold for less than $34. And this Nintendo Switch sold for less than $20. Go to DealDash.com and see how much you can save.
Whoa. Now that's a smooth shave. You might think these guys had to pay top dollar for a shave that smooth. But they just use Harry's. With 5 blades that stay sharp, shave after shave, a lubricating strip with aloe, a flex hinge, and a trimmer blade, it's hard to believe refills start at just $2, half of what the other guys charge. Shaving with Harry's isn't pricey. It's just very, very, very smooth. Wake up to Harry's. Get your trial set for just $7 at harrys.com/smooth.
This is Fubo.
It's a better way to watch live news, shows, and sports without cable. Watch multiple games at once with Multiview. Start watching at FuboTV.com.
Welcome back to Lubbock. Chandler Morris on the sideline appears to be doing all right. Obviously not happy with the way things have played out, but he does indeed seem to be healthy, and hopefully that's the last time we see him on the field tonight. Perhaps we could get a good look at some of the backup quarterbacks for North Texas, as Will Hammond has checked into the game at quarterback for Texas Tech. 6'2", 205-pound kid from Austin, Texas. The freshman going to get some burn here.
Great opportunity for everybody to get their feet wet in a game like this. Some guys going to be able to play and keep a red shirt. All of those things going through Joey McGuire's head now.
Dart from Hammond. Tripped up inside the 5-yard line is Micah Hudson. He was sniffing his first touchdown. Great throw by the youngster.
Yeah, but we say Baron Morton is the highest quarterback recruit in the history of Texas Tech. Well, Micah Hudson, as you said, is the highest recruit of any position in the history of Texas Tech. A 5-star guy that they want to get going, and they're happy to see that here at AT&T.
Jacoby Williams, the true freshman, in at running back. So it has been a youth movement in the second half for Texas Tech. Hammond with time out of the back of the end zone. How about this last pass? This was an absolute laser.
Yeah, watch him fire it in here. You're going to see it just find the inside of the elbow of Hudson almost before he turned his head. He had no chance to catch. He had no choice but to catch that as Will Hammond fired it in there.
Yeah, kind of stuck to the crook of his elbow. Yeah. It's not going anywhere.
Velcro. Here's that 3-back look that we saw earlier on the Taj Brooks 4th down touchdown.
Second and goal, keeping it on the ground, fighting to try to get into the end zone, and he does. Jacoby Williams with the score.
Yeah, they've gone at least 4 deep at running back. No Cameron Valdez as this one, as you mentioned, in the first half. Cameron Dickey, the freshman, and now Jacoby Williams getting some run as well, as Taj Brooks is enjoying it from the sideline in his first game back after last week's absence.
Everybody getting a little run. That touchdown set up by the Hammond to Hudson connection. That went for a nice gain.
You see they cross the blockers around, and Conyers can't even find a guy to block, as Jacoby Williams just kind of worms his way through all of those safeties and linebackers.
That was the second career catch for Hudson and the first career touchdown for Jacoby Williams.
Going to be a lot of good feelings tonight in Lubbock.
Well, they're going to have a lot of time to celebrate too, right, with the early kickoff at 11 a.m. They got their brisket. They got their Bloody Marys out of the way.
Dollop of defense. They've had more than that.
They have. I'd say they had a scoop. You know the difference between a dollop and a scoop?
Yes, I grew up in a restaurant.
Ah, okay. You know what? I'm not going to ask you. There's no question that I'm going to ask you that you don't know the answer to.
That's not true, but
it is true.
I'm a broadcaster, so I'm full of it.
Full of goodness, Petros. Full of goodness.
We'll see if Chandler Morris comes out again. I'm pretty sure that's going to be it. We'll either see Drew Mestamaker or Cash McCollum. But never say never. I didn't think we'd see him on the last drive.
That is true, but I would imagine that you are correct this time around. Really cool halftime ceremony. Wes Welker among 3 players going into the Ring of Honor. Thomas Howard, one of the best athletes in Lubbock history, and tight end Andre Tillman going in as well. Wes Welker, in terms of name recognition, the most famous of the bunch because of his success in the NFL, playing alongside Tom Brady for a good portion of his NFL career, and now applying his trade at a wide receiver coach in Miami with the Dolphins, getting to work with Tyreek Hill, one of the very best in the game. And I think we were both wrong. Chandler Morris is back in the game. So I guess they want to work through a few things.
That does seem to be the case. They went for it on the last 4th down in their own territory and ended up scrambling, and he kind of had a hard time getting off the field, but here he is again.
2nd and 10 for Chandler Morris. 3 receivers to the bottom of the screen. He's rolling to the left here, and he's going to settle for a 2-3 yard gain. It's going to bring up 3rd and long. Yeah, I get you want to work through things, and I understand Coach Morris putting Chandler Morris back in the game. I just don't know if when you have as much riding on this quarterback and this season as you do, if you'd want to risk it for an extra touchdown or 2. It doesn't seem to make a lot of sense to me.
Yeah, this game is not the end-all be-all for the Mean Green in the AAC, but there's something he wants to see from his offense before he removes his starting quarterback in this game that's already gotten away.
And over the head of the intended receiver, Wyatt Young.
And he was lucky it was over his head because Jordan Sanford was coming in.
He had a beat on him.
Yeah, and you got to be really careful with some of these air raid offense on defense about where you target people and how, because Chandler Morris is a gunslinger, and he's not afraid to put it in there and put receivers at risk. That one, luckily, a little too high, and they're going to have to kick.
Here comes Sawyer Evans, normally wearing number 41, wearing number 1 on this day. His 6th punt of the game. He's been a very busy man. Dre McCray deep for the Red Raiders. Takes a bounce, kind of goes backwards, and then gets down to the 32-yard line. Thursday, it's baseball night in America on Fox as Bryce Harper leads the Phillies in an NL East showdown against Francisco Lindor and the Mets, or Corbin Carroll and the D-backs battle the Brewers. It all begins Thursday at 7 Eastern on Fox. Check for the game in your area. We do have a flag down.
Holding on the return there.
Tudashinda Salam, our referee. And it's been nice. We haven't seen a lot of Mr. Salam.
No, we talked to Pereira and saw his tie clip in the first half, and that's been one of the only smooth things about this game.
Well, it's good when you get Pereira on camera early.
Yeah.
You know, it makes the bosses happy.
Established.
Yeah. Handsome devil. You got to get him on as much as possible.
If you're Texas Tech, though, everything's gone perfectly and smoothly and procedurally. They've had a lot less of that.
Yeah, and then you just jinxed him again.
Well, you got the 3rd quarterback in. New offensive lineman, that was Dalton Merriman.
Number 67, offense, 5-yard penalty, 1st down.
And he got his first start together today because Sterling Porsche was out, the left tackle, who was going to be going into his 28th career start. So Merriman doing all right today. Not too many penalties for Texas Tech, 6 for 50, and none of them have really hurt them badly at all.
Well, that's what was driving Joey McGuire crazy, was they had so many pre-snap penalties, so many that were avoidable. Sheridan Wilson, the center, the first-year starter, had 4 penalties himself coming into this game, but they've done great to this point, you know, with the new starting left tackle. They also lost Vinny Scurry for the season, their starting left guard. So the entire left side of that offensive line was not in place when the season began. Again, Will Hammond The third quarterback to play in this one for Texas Tech. Does a nice job eluding the rush and then finding Cameron Dickey. That should have been a sack. And it's going to go in the books as a 2, maybe 3-yard gain.
Yeah, he looks like a live body guy, doesn't he? And, you know, talking about last week, like you said, Wilson, the center, and some of the problems, it just felt like without Taj Brooks, the entire offense was pressing and trying to do too much, trying to be perfect, trying to get too many calls in from the center position when it was too late, throwing balls that were ill-advised for Barrett Morton. Now that they have Taj Brooks back, it feels like this, again, is one of the better offenses, if not one of the best in the country.
3rd and 13. Hammond with another on-target throw. Forward progress. Should be a first down for Texas Tech. And that's Micah Hudson, the true freshman. Big-time recruit, as you talked about earlier, making that grab.
Yeah, another opportunity for this young man to get a feel for it as they're going fast. Tempo.
Tempo, tempo, tempo. Jacoby Williams on the carry.
Really put a hamper on the North Texas chances.
Ooh, couple of nice moves and trying to do some housework. This is Cameron Dickey getting it inside the 20-yard line. I mean, you already have Brooks over 100 yards. Dickey wouldn't mind having his first 100-yard game. He came into this game with 30 rushing yards on the season. That run goes for 38.
And what a find. Not a highly recruited guy out of Austin, Texas. We mentioned he played quarterback and defensive back at the high school level and really was a do-everything guy for his team. And Joey McGuire and Zach Kittley dug this guy out. They found a really good second back to spell Taj Brooks.
Very under-recruited. They called him a diamond in the rough. Quick pass off the hands of Mason Tharp. Dickey was a guy that you talk about putting his team on his back. Not only did he play quarterback, he played DB. He literally carried them. It was a smaller school in Austin, Texas, to the state playoffs in back-to-back seasons. And they saw what he was doing at those positions and said, we think we could use this guy. It doesn't matter where it is on the field.
Yeah.
Let's sign him up.
And in the meantime, Will Hammond's out there surprising everybody. Trying to throw that one right off Mason Tharp's spot. He didn't see it coming.
Keeping it on the ground here again with Dickey, who gets back to the line of scrimmage to bring up 3rd down and long.
Yeah, kind of a fake flip play, and then they run the counter back the other way. Interesting stuff from Zach Kittley, a very, very innovative offensive coordinator for Joey McGuire on his staff.
Yeah, you talk about the connections between these two staffs. Zach Kittley and the offensive coordinator for North Texas, Jordan Davis, were in each other's weddings. That's how close they were. They started their coaching careers together.
There's Coach
at
Zach.
Texas Tech. Kittley has to be pleased with what he's seen today. What a throw. Threading the needle to Jalen Conyers is Will Hammond.
And they've got both starting tight ends out there, Conyers and Tharp, and we've seen John Carlos Miller throughout the morning and afternoon. This guy knows how to put it in there, doesn't he? He's very accurate, much more accurate than Cameron Brown, who came out to start the 3rd quarter.
Will Hammond can sling it, and I like the way he moves in the pocket, too. He's a talented young kid from what I've seen thus far.
Yeah, he looks alive.
Gonna keep it on the ground with the youngster in for the touchdown. And Texas Tech gonna break the 60-point barrier as Cameron Dickey gets number 2.
And he looks like he's had more of a rough go out there with all his hanging paraphernalia.
Tapes coming off.
And what a nice little debut for Will Hammond. A lot to feel good about in Lubbock.
4 of 6, 67 yards. And at least 2 of those 4 completions for Hammond have been absolute dart throws. 66 up on the board at this point for Texas Tech. Belt comes out again. You're right. You might need to get a new belt. That thing's being worn out. Hammond dropping bombs and Dickey punching it in.
I'm a big Old Trapper fan. Not bigger than me. I love Old Trapper. I love how tender it is. Don't forget the wood smoke flavor.
What about the clear bag?
That shows you exactly what you're getting.
Savory beef. Quality ingredients. I'm their biggest fan.
Old Trapper, what's your beef?
Will you sign my bag and my tattoo?
You can only get Wendy's new Saucy Nugs at Wendy's. So if anyone ever tries to tell you they have Saucy Nugs at home, you might want to see what else they're hiding, because that person lies. For a whole new way to nug, gotta be Wendy's.
Are you ready?
Let game day begin!
Grab a Pepsi and make your game day epic.
This is Fubo. It's a better way to watch live news, shows, and sports without cable. Watch multiple games at once with Multiview. Start watching at FuboTV.com.
I know we only just met, but I can't imagine my life without you.
This is more than just a job.
We save people.
Go!
We have to do it together. All of us.
Hurry!
Rescue High Surf, September 22nd on Fox.
52 in the first half, 66 in total for Texas Tech. Red Raiders bouncing back with a vengeance after losing in Pullman, Washington to Washington State. And this is a statement game in terms of just all-around performance, both sides of the ball, offensively, defensively, everything been clicking for Texas Tech. That's really been trying to find their groove since the opening game of the season that saw them win by 1 point over Abilene Christian.
Overtime in Lubbock. And that is it for Chandler Morris. Looks like Drew Mestemaker coming out. And Morris didn't really play horribly. 15 of 27, 162 yards, 2 touchdowns, 3 picks, but 2 of them were right off the hands of his receivers and into the hands of Red Raider defenders.
2 unlucky picks, a couple of drop balls. Things just not going well for the entire offensive unit for North Texas as a whole, and the football gods certainly not smiling on them today. Drew Mestemaker, 6'4", big kid, 210 pounds out of Austin, Texas. The big story for this guy is that he didn't even start at quarterback in high school.
Not a high school starter. Played behind Deuce Adams, who's a big recruit out of Louisville now. Vanderbilt High School Vipers in Austin, Texas. There you see Chandler Morris on the sideline. He went to Highland Park High School. The Scots in Dallas.
Around the left side is Shane Porter. Going to be chopped down about 3 yards shy of the line to gain.
The most overtold story in the history of the world.
What's that?
Chandler Morris, not Mestemaker, went to the same high school that Clayton Kershaw and Matt Stafford became best friends at.
It is, yeah.
Yes, did you know that Clayton Kershaw used to snap it to Matt Stafford? You ever heard that story, Helly?
There's a new one now. And I'm going to forget the hockey player. I'm embarrassed. But Jason Tatum and unnamed hockey player, hopefully somebody can help me, who won the Stanley Cup, both won championships this year. Went to high school together, famous picture of them sitting on a bus.
You're going to have to get up pretty early in the morning to beat the Kershaw-Stafford story.
Oh, it's Matthew Tkachuk.
There you go.
Yeah.
As Mestemaker fights for some yardage. 6'4", 210, freshman. Pretty big frame guy. Bigger than Morris.
Let's see if they can get a little something going here with just under 11 minutes to go. That was a tough one to try to bring down. That was Landon Sides. And you can see Mestemaker saying, my bad. Pretty cool, though, not to start in high school because you're behind such a good player in Deuce Adams, and then to be able to go to a place like North Texas and get on the field. It's
a testament.
That's a neat deal.
Testament to how good he is and how you can persevere through almost anything in football.
Most famous backup quarterback who never really played to go on to NFL success, your guy Matt Castle, perhaps.
The Cass Dog, yes, I recruited him.
Is that
when
right?
I was at USC at a Chatsworth High.
You sealed the deal? What'd you guys do on the recruiting visit?
I took him around Carson Palmer and said, this is our quarterback. You can learn from him.
There was a pause there for about half a second. It was the first time I've ever heard you pause as you were running through your brain. What did you want to share about the recruiting
Matt
visit?
Castle invited me to his wedding, and I forgot. Didn't show up, so I'm still trying to live that down.
Hold on. Miles Coleman. Miles Coleman trying to go the distance. Nice play there. You see the wheels from 13. That's going to make things look good in the stat board for Drew Mestemaker. A 49-yard gain for Miles Coleman.
Yeah, just a little late to react defensively, trying to get over there. They throw those quick screens out, and they had another one go for a long touchdown to Wyatt Young in the first quarter, way back in the first quarter.
Flags flying everywhere.
Much tighter game back then when Wyatt Young scored.
Can we just rewind to the fact that you got invited to Matt Castle's wedding and you forgot about it?
Well, I was hoping that the big play would erase that admission.
No,
It's been a long game here.
No chance I'm not coming back to that.
Yeah, Castle's not happy about that. Neither is the wife.
Hasn't been addressed since?
It has.
Offside. Defense. Unabated to the quarterback. Half the distance to the goal. First down.
All right, we'll move on. First down.
Matt Castle, also a really special baseball player. A lot of people, he could throw it 95 from the mound. And when he didn't think he was going to play at USC ever, he tried to join the baseball team and then broke something up there on the mound and went back to football.
Is that right?
Yeah.
Talented dude is Matt Castle. I think he's plying his trade at broadcasting recently, working up there in the Boston area. Here's Mestemaker spinning out of a couple of tackles and down to the 1-yard line, bringing up 2nd and goal.
A lot of pace here.
Keeping it on the ground and then walking into the end zone is Shane Porter to get North Texas on the board once again.
Something good for North Texas. Getting Mestemaker out there, leading a touchdown drive. These are not small things in the grand scheme of things for a guy's career, and how you get a team developed and ready if you're getting blown out. There is work that you can do. We've seen it from blowing somebody out, which Texas Tech is getting a lot of guys in there, but Eric Morris able to get some work done too with his guys deep into this game.
Nguma up and good. 21 points now on the board for North Texas. Drew Mestemaker spinning, weaving down to the 1-yard line before it's punched in by Porter.
Know what's happening in college football right now? How could you? It changes every second. This player switched to this team. This team switched to this conference. This conference switched to this channel. But sometimes it's on streaming. But Big Noon. You don't have to be a rocket scientist to know it's on the same time, on the same channel, on every TV in the country. College football is complicated, but Big Noon? Hey, fan.
Type 2 diabetes? Discover the Ozempic Trizone.
Ozempic.
I got the power of 3.
I lowered my A1C, CV risk, and lost some weight.
In studies, the majority of people reached an A1C under 7 and maintained it.
I'm under 7.
Ozempic lowers the risk of major cardiovascular events such as stroke, heart attack, or death in adults also with known heart disease.
I'm lowering my risk.
Adults lost up to 14 pounds.
I lost some weight.
Ozempic isn't for people with type 1 diabetes. Don't share needles or pens or reuse needles. Don't take Ozempic if you or your family ever had medullary thyroid cancer or have multiple endocrine neoplasia syndrome type 2 or if allergic to it. Stop Ozempic and get medical help right away if you get a lump or swelling in your neck, severe stomach pain, or an allergic reaction. Serious side effects may include pancreatitis. Gallbladder problems may occur. Tell your provider about vision problems or changes. Taking Ozempic with a sulfonylurea or insulin may increase low blood sugar risk. Side effects like nausea, vomiting, and diarrhea may lead to dehydration, which may worsen kidney problems. Living with type 2 diabetes?
Ask about the power of 3 with Ozempic.
It's hard to explain what this feels like. Moving piles of earth just by moving a lever. Towing up to 4,000 pounds with a machine that weighs less than half that. Cutting grass, clearing the way, and perfecting every inch of your land. We could keep trying to put it into words, but nothing compares to experiencing it for yourself. You just have to get in the seat. Learn more at johndeere.com/get-in-the-seat.
This is an election year unlike any other.
America is ready.
And so are we.
Democracy 24. Your freedom. Your vote.
Time for a look at the hardest working players, sponsored by Liberty Mutual Insurance. Only pay for what you need. And this man was putting in the work today. 15 of 19, 264 yards, 5 total touchdowns, 4 touchdown passes, and that touchdown run for Behren Morton. He had himself quite a day at quarterback.
And it was just a half. All in the first half. Came out with that Texas Tech equipment hat on. In the second half, it hasn't taken it off.
That means he's in tight with the equipment guy.
Yeah, you have the equipment hat. That means
that's good stuff.
You're well liked.
Oh, and it's important. If you want to get in good with somebody on the staff, it's besides the head coach and the OC, it's the equipment guy.
Texas Tech in that second quarter scored those 21 points off the 3 picks. And that was really all she wrote for this one.
A 35-point second quarter as we take a look at Morton's day. A lot of great moments and definitely got some help from some of his wide receivers, but he really made some tremendous throws, Petros.
Yeah, he distributed too. Jordan Brown, Caleb Douglas, of course, Josh Kelly. Both tight ends we saw involved. Jalen Conyers with a touchdown there. And, of course, Taj Brooks and his presence, which is what Coach McGuire told us, makes most of it possible. Behren Morton really bouncing back this week as we look at the young guy, Will Hammond, freshman who's been playing well, the third quarterback for the Red Raiders so far today.
This, by far, the most impressive win of the season for Texas Tech. Get a chance to play all 3 quarterbacks, the first of a 3-game homestand. And this was a team that was picked in the preseason to finish right in the middle of the pack of the new 16-team Big 12, the new look 16-team Big 12.
But I think most people think, it's wide open,
Sure.
Really wide open, and I think they feel like they have a good shot at it with their personnel.
Will Hammond with the quick look around and then decides to run it himself. Brings up 3rd and 6.
You get a feeling that both teams kind of want to run a little clock here, but they get into a 3rd situation, and these air raid offensive coaches can't help themselves.
Got to throw the ball.
They put it up. Coach McGuire has been working with that, massaging it for years since he's been here in Lubbock. With Zach Kitley, the air raid coordinator, but knowing how important defense is and having a great running back, trying to marry it all together.
Well, that's going to be short of the stick, so they are likely going to punt it away here on 4th down. Tyson Turner on the catch. I mean, they all have, both of these teams have these air raid principles, but kind of maybe add a little bit more to the run game than perhaps the original air raid system had back in the day?
Everybody's air raid is a little different, right? If you're talking about what Cliff Kingsbury used to do compared to Mike Leach, compared to Dana Holgerson, compared to the different coordinators around, what Morris does, everybody's got a little different twist to it. I would say what you have at Texas Tech is personnel based. You have a great running back and you have a giant 6'9", 270-pound tight end in Tharp, and then Conyers, who can do a lot of interesting things too. So you're really putting 2 tight ends into an air raid system where you can put those guys out in the slot and move them around, especially Conyers, and they use Tharp like a lead blocker, almost like a fullback. So they can do a lot of different things with their personnel. And I guess the word air raid, or the term, means a lot different things to different people when you say it, depending on who you played for. But it used to just be Leach, you know, and now it's become a much different and more viney tree. Wow, they really cleared this place out, didn't they?
They sure did. Well, in terms of coaching trees, I don't know if there are many that that are spreading wider than Mike Leach's coaching tree at the college level. It is unbelievably impressive.
Well, Mouse Davis, Hal Mummy, you know, really kind of got started there. And then when Mike Leach was with Stoops in Oklahoma, that's when the roots of his system really took hold and came down here to Lubbock, and the rest is history.
The birthplace, of course, here in Texas Tech, and then Leach plied his trade in Pullman at Washington State and then Mississippi State. He is certainly gone but not forgotten for all of those here in Lubbock, Texas. One of the great football minds and most unique people that you will ever or would ever have come across. As there's a flag down on the punt.
There is no foul on the play. Timeout on the field.
All right, this thing's slowing down just a bit here in Lubbock.
It says free delivery and there's no catch.
Wait, but that's what we do.
I catch footballs. I catch rides from strangers. I catch big old fish.
Guys, there's no catch. Little Caesars delivery is actually free for a limited time.
Pizza, pizza.
When you need a tool that does it all, you need Tostitos restaurant style. Optimized for versatility, Tostitos can tackle every snack, big or small. Because if you're gonna do something, do it right. Tostitos restaurant style, made for snacking.
Harper and the Phillies look to close in on an NL East crown, while Lindor leads the Mets fight for a wild card spot. Or Diamondbacks, Brewers. It's baseball night in America, Thursday on Fox.
What would you pay for an iPad Pro? I only paid $42 on Deal Dash.
DealDash.com. Online auction since 2009. This PlayStation 5 sold for only 50 cents. And this smart charcoal grill sold for $16. And this Nintendo Switch sold for less than $20. Deals like these and many more happen in the thousands of daily auctions on DealDash.com. All auctions start at $0. And remember, everything must go.
I got this KitchenAid stand mixer for only $56.
I got this barbecue smoker for 26 bucks.
And you get a 90-day money-back guarantee with your first purchase.
This brand new iPhone sold for less than $42. And this DJI drone sold for less than $21.
And I got it for 16 bucks on Deal Dash.
And shipping is always free.
Go to DealDash.com right now and see how much you can save.
There are auctions going on right now. So what are you waiting for?
Mention that new look, Big 12. Some big games coming up for Texas Tech, Arizona, then Iowa State, Deion and Colorado, Ollie Gordon and Oklahoma State. Red Raiders going to have their hands full with some of these teams. Right now, 5 Big 12 teams ranked in the top 25, led by number 12 Utah and number 13 Oklahoma State.
I don't know, Mike Gundy, Kyle Whittingham. Who would you rather have as your coach? Two of the great deans of college coaching.
That's true.
And we saw Arizona last night. Brent Brennan, new to the league, and they got a little bit of an awakening in the Little Apple. Tough place to play. Kansas State looks great. Kansas took a loss last night.
Yeah, Kansas State 31-7 in that game. Good to see Brent Brennan's such a good dude. Good to see him. He had did such a tremendous job at San Jose State. And of course, following in the footsteps of Jedd Fisch, who departed for Washington. Kind of a awkward departure there, depending on which side that you hear from, but they were able to land a really good coach in Brennan. And you know, you mentioned Whittingham and Gundy in Utah and Oklahoma, two of the very best in the business. Kind of contrasting personalities there between
very
those
much.
two,
And then, I mean, look at the coaching in this Big 12, this new machination of it. Matt Campbell up north at Ames, and what he's been able to do, how innovative he's been. They just beat Iowa a couple weeks ago.
Yeah, Campbell's a guy that I didn't think was going to be there as long as he has been, but he sees something in Ames that he really likes.
And one of his disciples, Matt Capone, came down to North Texas and has put in that 3-safety defensive look that's become so popular, that started there with Matt Campbell and Coach Haycock in Ames.
Mackenzie Gill, number 38, checked in at running back. And here's Gill here, trying to turn the corner, can't quite do it. Picks up about half a yard, but we do have a flag down.
Holding, number 74, offense, 10-yard penalty, second down.
Starting to rack up the penalties here with some of the backups in, but
Larry Moore out there with that penalty, one of the starters. Starter played at Texas Tech before. They've still got the right tackle starter in the game. And he is a former Red Raider who gained a bunch of weight this summer so he could get on the field with North Texas. He said he did it with Panda Express.
And creatine. 25 pounds.
I didn't know that stuff was still legal.
Well, North Texas, they have Wyoming coming up and Tulsa at home. Definitely not an easy game.
Wyoming really,
the Cowboys.
They're struggling though. They do not look the same.
Oh, it is.
First 2 games.
And it is in Denton, Texas, as opposed to being at War Memorial Stadium, which is not an easy place to play in Laramie.
Altitude there, very tough.
Pressure coming. Mestonmaker eludes. And how about the wheels from Mestonmaker?
Patience. Didn't look like he was feeling the rush at all. It didn't look like he saw the pressure coming behind him. But look, he does. He starts to move up. He felt it from Isaac Smith and then steps out of a tackle there. I like Mestonmaker.
Yeah, a little high step too. Watch this, watch this.
Whoop. Whoa. Felt it.
Mestonmaker 2 of 3 for 56 yards. Not a bad performance from a guy who was really in a battle for that backup quarterback spot with Cash McCollum.
Looks like he won it, at least based on what we saw as far as who came in.
Yeah, who came in first. We actually asked Eric Morris who would be first man up after Chandler Morris, and he said you have to wait and see.
Yeah, they didn't
so
know.
Now we have.
But as far as the Red Raiders go, it looks like Hammond's really outperformed Brown as their backups.
Yeah, I thought Hammond looked pretty good.
It's kind of become a big spring game here in the last 2 quarters.
It really has.
You know, a showcase for everybody else and maybe a little bit of the future.
Kind of nice for those starters, guys like Baron Morton and Taj Brooks, who can put in a half of work and then put the baseball cap on and kind of hang out.
And guys like Tharp and Conyers got to stay out there and put in work with the backup.
That's what you got to do when you're the new guys. They're still, you know, hey, they're first-year transfers coming in from Elon and Arizona State as we wind down to the 2-minute timeout. Eric Morris giving the referees an earful. We'll be back.
All right, I'm going to change your world.
That's going to be interesting.
Let's go. I love to root for great.
Yeah.
You want to root for the underdog. Good luck with that. I'm controversial when I don't even mean to be. It doesn't matter how many times I'm right. You'll still argue with me. This is The Herd. The Herd.
Hey, Mr. Poacher.
Yeah?
Tired already? Here, have a Red Bull.
And then?
Then run faster.
Oh. Red Bull gives you wings.
At Domino's, we know some companies are guilty of shrinkflation. They're giving you less for the same price. So, we're taking our biggest deal and we're making it even bigger. We call it moreflation. For a limited time, when you mix and match any 2 or more medium 2-topping pizzas for $6.99 each online, we'll upgrade 1 medium pizza to a large for free.
You sure about that?
Yup.
You sure about that?
Positive. Get moreflation, not shrinkflation, only at Domino's. Thanks. Wait, we're giving you more.
I'm the Modelo Recruiter. I'm searching for fans who catch every single game, every single season. I'm always watching, always looking. 23B, 23C. To reward more full-time fans.
Vote Cheddar Bay 2024, because when Red Lobster's biscuits rise, America thrives. So come in now for a chance to win 4 years of free Red Lobster, because one bite can unite all parties, at least for dinner.
They found the body. Imagine you're looking at a painting. What's missing?
Be careful. The steely gaze, the cryptic silence. You're very good at that.
I'm Carl Alberg, Chief of Police.
Friday night on Fox, it's Illinois and Nebraska in a prime time Big Ten clash. It all goes down Friday night at 8 Eastern on Fox. Kind of getting into this Friday night football thing, P. We got a couple of these games coming up.
Can't you just see Bielema and Rule just hitting heads?
Oh, yeah. Frothing at the
like
mouth.
The Monday Night Football helmets.
Breaking a couple of tackles is Mackenzie Gill. So Texas Tech, we talked about the upcoming schedule for North Texas. Texas Tech going to face Arizona State.
They're different.
And then Cincinnati.
Arizona State under Coach Dillingham is dramatically different. Sam Levitt at quarterback, Scadaboo running the ball, revived defensively. They are not looking like the worst team in the Big 12 like they were picked preseason.
You just had a feeling when Kenny Dillingham was hired, kind of going back home, that just that youthful enthusiasm and the way he was going to have the ability to recruit, that if he got the support in-house.
So much stacked up against him, right. You know, violations, a bowl ban. Not easy to coach football. Coach McGuire knows that. But Kenny, really, really impressive looking team this year, first couple weeks.
Down to about the 4-yard line is Mackenzie Gill. College Football Extra, sponsored by Defender, will be coming up here in just a few minutes with Mike and Acho, Coach Peterson, all in studio.
Well, they're glued to this one.
I don't think they've taken their eyes off.
No. Yeah. They're ready to take over.
They always are. A little bit of a high snap into the end zone. Mestemaker trying to hit Blair Conright, but it looked like he got interfered with, Petros.
Interference, number 2, defense. The foul occurred in the end zone. The ball will be placed at the 2-yard line. Automatic first down.
North Texas wants one more taste of this Lubbock end zone before they head back to Denton. And yeah, never got the hands off Conright. Did Peoples.
Coming in with some heat, Michael Dingle Jr. He's not done playing just yet.
No, I remember him last year. He can run around and make plays. They've developed some depth. They have youth, but Tim DeRuyter's defense has developed some depth. The only place they don't have depth is on the edges, and they've been okay there today.
Time winding down. This is a big score. You can find the end zone here. It's almost, you know, they beat you by twice as much. And here, they beat you by 3 times as much.
Last play.
See if they can get in there. Maker trying to buy some time. Got to let it go. Goes down awkwardly on the sideline. And the Red Raiders of Texas Tech put 66 on the board in their most dominant performance of the season. What a bounce-back win for the Red Raiders. Joey McGuire, his troops have to be pleased with almost everything that happened on the field today. 9 players with touchdowns. The most